Hello, hello! Welcome along to another episode of Criminal Intent. Today begins our first true heist. But last week, I believe we did some reconnaissance. Where did last week begin?
Boy.
Where did last week begin?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Last week didn't begin at all. I was at Phantom of the Opera, and it was great.
Yeah,
the week before that...
Were we not just
Were we
standing
at
in
the
front of
restaurant?
Tucci's? Yeah, we're standing in front of Tucci's and scoping it out, basically.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Casing the place.
I think it actually began with you going back to a tavern. The Hungry Halfling.
We were leaving
Oh.
from that place.
I see.
You went back for the evening, you relaxed, shot some b-ball outside the hope, and then after that, I believe, you went back out in the middle of the night, didn't you? Ventured on over. And what
that's right.
interesting or engaging information did we discover, and how?
Oh, some really interesting things.
Two of us
Like-
inside, Gnob and DB.
Yes, you did.
We met the swans. That was nice.
Mhm.
They were loud and honky.
Yeah.
Met the chef.
There's a kid there who was doing some prep work of some
There
sort.
was. A kid who was just keeping the fire hot and stoked.
Soaking, correct. Yeah.
And Cornelius met the chef and
He
charmed
did, and I didn't
Masucci
do
himself.
this button. Woo!
with his tragic backstory.
I forgot to do that.
Okay. Silver
we
fox.
never saw this guy.
Yes, so this is Vasucci. He is.
Oh, well.
Yeah, he is the chef.
Yes, and he sympathized with Cornelius's fake story because he too had a love that he's lost.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Which I think I'm going to manipulate. by the
Yeah,
way.
please don't ask me about that information though, because I do not recall.
Well, I will ask you simply, Mr. Joshua, who were you that night?
I know that I gave the name William, but I
You
don't remember
did.
the name I gave the fake wife. I don't remember that name. But I know that he said it wrong and I didn't correct him.
Wait,
I
oh my
know
god,
that
it's on like
much.
the... it's on the tip of my
I don't
tongue.
Is it some? Is this with a C or a G?
It could be. I have no
It's
idea.
at least one of the letters in the alphabet.
I have no idea.
Okay, I'm just... no, it's gone. It's gone.
I have no idea. Could be
That's not
anything.
good.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm hoping he doesn't bring it
Violetta
up.
was the name of Vasucci's lost
Yeah.
love.
Oh, wow.
whatever.
What was her name?
Her
Violetta.
name was Violetta, but that's Vasucci's last name.
Violetta.
Not,
Yeah.
I can
That's
keep
right.
track of everybody's lies. Just
No. I doubt he's gonna bring
Just
it
my
up.
own.
That would be weird.
Maybe.
I don't know how weird that would actually. be.
just tear up and say that you can't say her name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
sad.
That's a good
Too
one.
sad.
Yes.
We did run into. We stole some scrolls and we stole some recipe cards
Mhm.
from inside.
That is not.
And then we met a slave who we just kind of.
Oh,
But he saw us, so
he saw us, but didn't really do anything. He sort of remained diligent in his work of scrubbing the floor.
Yeah, a little bit of a loose end, but it's probably fine.
Yep. And Ambrosia did nothing. Good job.
Not true. I
a
kept
difference.
watch, and I did a great job because no one found
Yeah.
you.
She did.
Okay,
keep
you know
watch.
what? Fair point. Withdrawn.
God, your dead wife's name is on like the edge of my brain. It's gonna drive
It's
me
okay.
crazy.
I'm gonna.
Like Cordelia or something.
Video. No, that's way too close
Too
to
close.
Cornelius. It's fine. I'm gonna look up the session.
Okay,
That's cheating.
Is it though?
that is cheating. Oh,
I don't believe so. Let's see.
So, did you find anything else worth mentioning?
looking around. Oh, we found many of his recipes and made a decoy to swap to do a
Mm-hmm.
switcheroo with the real one. but it wasn't that good. I didn't roll very well, so let's just do it quick and get out.
Yeah.
We know that Vasucci lives on the top floor, on the 3rd floor of the building.
Correct.
That's where his bedroom is. At the very
The
least.
second floor is like the private dining situation that's closed
Mm-hmm.
right now. And
I think that's it.
that's all we did there. And then we kind of ran around the next day,
Hold on.
going to the following their delivery cart, basically, seeing where they went. And we did some shenanigans eventually.
Yeah, we're really burying the lead here because that was the best part of that last session.
Yeah, stole a crate or 2 or 3.
Couple crates.
I'm trying to remember the exact order of events. So, who's in the crate? DB?
Well,
DB's in a crate.
We stole a crate from Nutty Namboya,
Oh yeah, little
the
squirrel.
halfling.
Who was a
Cornelius
squad
tried to
leader, yeah.
murder him, and instead we put him
I
to
forgot
sleep
about that.
and ran away.
Mhm.
Tried to
Well, he
kill
didn't try
on
to murder him.
sight.
He just tried to kill the squirrel.
He tried to murder the squirrel on
Just fuck
sight.
that squirrel. But
And then, yeah, we just.
We got our perfume identified. That happened first because that's when we used it to spray him in the face.
Yeah, the
to
perfume was
knock him out.
actually.
Just a heads up,
Knock out
Josh. It
that.
was Arabella or Arbella.
Arabella.
You're still muted.
Wow. Yeah,
I
I
was
knew it was,
literally minutes away from getting that.
it was an Arctic Monkey song. Damn it! It should have stood out to me more.
Arabella. Okay.
Yeah, so you did you visited various different places. You also did some shopping, did you? I believe.
A little bit. Yeah.
We definitely got
we got Gnob a shirt.
Nob a
that's
shirt.
correct.
That happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Took him to the
probably-
wondrous wardrobe.
Yeah, you also bought some potions.
I bought some flasks of oil as
yeah.
well.
That had happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it, really. You guys just tucked in ready. Is that right?
Well,
got a
then we did
potion
some
of-
light insurance fraud.
I got a potion of Ipecac as well.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
the acting performance of a lifetime given by
Yeah, I ran over so horribly.
Oh, that did happen.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
And,
That's how we ended the session because then we were
yeah, during that, DB in the crate was smuggled on, and
Mhm.
everyone is getting into position now, basically.
Okay. And that right there is where we
I'm
That's
nervous.
almost a hit and run.
will pick up.
Literally. No, he gave me a
So
good
this particular point
reward.
in time, it's about 5:45 on the evening of the heist. Can I just confirm? Did anybody write down the date of the heist? Because I think I've missed a day.
Well, we had a day in between the last.
It was either day 7 or day 8 of the week. I don't remember which one.
Let's see.
I think it was on the
I
8th
wanna
day, but I know
say-
Mikayla is quite good at
I want
actually
to
writing
say
these
the
things down.
heist was supposed to be on the 21st for some reason.
No, that's
I'm not
just
good
not
at
right.
writing specific
I think it
dates.
was
All
the
right.
5th of November.
I'll take that.
You're usually really good at writing this sort of stuff down, Mikayla.
Specific dates? I wrote in 2 days.
To be fair though, like, do you not remember like how you kept track of Sullivan's date for like 15 days in a row? Like, you're usually quite good with like
Well,
taking
that
notes of
was important
specific
to
days.
me
That was
personally.
important, whereas this isn't. Great, love that. I know me. Yeah, okay, cool. So I believe it was the 8th day. I'm quite happy to agree with that. I know it definitely wasn't Even Star. It wasn't one of the days where he stays open later.
Correct.
Yeah.
Cool. So 8th day it is. We'll just say we didn't miss anything. It's about 5:45 in the evening. You have smuggled DB onto a crate, and now a haughty orc is riding the wagon back off to Vasucci's. What are the other 3 of you doing?
Oh boy.
I believe Gnob already snuck in to end the session. Pretty sure.
That is correct.
Yes, Gnob let himself in very gently with a
Yes,
mole,
correct.
I think it was.
A maul, I used it to just sort of like lower
Where are two
the
fancy?
window.
Our
Okay.
two fancies.
We're getting into character.
So, Gnob,
Yeah.
you are in here.
Okay.
Just a heads up, this does have a roof that you can, a roof window that you can get out, but it's probably like here or something, right? It's slightly off screen. And you will, I think I might have mentioned this last week, but you will note that things have been moved around and a few barrels have been
Yes.
left
you did
open.
mention-
Which implies that is what will be used today.
I think
Sorry,
I
that
chose.
is really odd noise coming out of my whiskey bottle.
Oh, okay. That was like
I
a
think I
robot.
chose a barrel to hide in. No, of,
You
like,
did, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I gave you the
Is it
choice
cheese?
between fish, peas, some bread rolls, I think, and then something else. But I know you chose the peas.
I chose the peas.
Yeah, yeah. There are more peas in there than there were before, so it looks to
I'm
incomers.
just like stinking in.
Have you got a pea snorkel?
No, I should be able to breathe through peas for God's sake.
Just eat some of them.
Just have to
Yeah,
keep your
yeah.
mouth like really
Right.
close, so you're like. Otherwise, you'll breathe in a
Oh,
pea,
yeah.
and that'll
I
be
just
the
like blow out my nose so that they don't like clog up my nostrils.
Yeah. He's getting his vegetables
Oh.
today.
Let's see, yeah. So I assume that Sullivan and wow
Wow.
came out of nowhere. Sorry, because we mentioned
Way
him
off.
only moments ago. Cornelius and Ambrosia are getting ready for the eve. Do you coordinate your outfits? Do you dress together? Do you discuss anything at all?
I had an idea, Cornelius. I assume you shared with us the sadness about Masuchi's lost love and whatnot also.
I would have, yes.
Okay, great. I'm thinking I could be your recently widowed cousin from out of town. So we're all three very sad about lost loves.
I'm afraid that doesn't quite work.
Oh, what's your
Because I already told him that you was a foraging friend.
Oh, okay. Then I'm your foraging friend from out of town.
Is
And
your
we were
husband
just- Oh
dead?
yeah. Yeah.
Your
my
husband is
husband's
dead,
definitely
though, right?
Yeah, we
Okay.
actually talked about the fancy kind of foraging that nobles
did
like
do
to
that.
do.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what we do. What did we find? Some elaborate mushrooms and stuff.
Some
And
truffles.
Pretty much.
yeah, and I think you made such an impression on Masuchi. He'll definitely want to come over and, greet you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I assume that he will come and see our table at least a few times during the evening. Hopefully that will give our cat friend a moment to
Have you
snag.
forgotten his name?
No, we're friends. No, he called me his friend. I'll take that as a win.
Should not take anything Cornelius says as a win.
Do you know what, Pat? I forgot DB's name the other day. And I was sitting there and I was going, I know it's two letters, but I don't know which. And I was going, was he AF, DC, EB, EY, FG? I was going to like so many random letter coordinations. And then I remembered, what was it? Bertolini or whatever it was.
Just remember DB Cooper.
Close enough.
Yeah, it was this very elaborate first.
From
That was it. Yes, Duke. Yes, Duke
Duke
Bramovich.
Bramovich.
Yeah, Bramovich.
Meow.
But I just it
Meow.
suddenly came to mind like that. Yeah, and I was like, that. Indeed. Indeed. So that will hopefully give your cat friend a moment. Well, where is cat friend? That is the question.
That's
Cat
the
friend.
right question.
Mr. DB, give me a perception check, please. You guys, you'll have to bear with me. Changing the music is really, really difficult today. Because I normally set different scenes for different musics, but we're going to spend so long staring at like one or two images that I'm just going to have to manually click.
This box is really full of nuts. I rolled a 9.
Yeah, a 9's perfectly fine. So with a 9, you also rolled a 96 before session. Let's see if I can beat that. I cannot.
Nope.
Okay. So with a 9, you're right. It is a little muffled. But you definitely felt the box move. You felt yourself put down. And one guy did mention that the boxes of nuts are very heavy today. The orc, so that you can hear the orc being a bit rude and very frustrated, just sort of saying, "Put it all away, for goodness sake, and hurry up with it. I want that box, and that box in stores upstairs. Put that one with the swans. Take that out to cold storage, and that one directly into the kitchen." And then you feel, and your box sort of like tilts up on its side and goes back on something that feels like it might be something wheelie. And then you're rolled across the room. You feel the cobbled stones as you're rolled past, sort of and on the stones, which you... Well, give me a survival check. Maybe you know something, maybe you don't.
I do not. I rolled an 8.
You've been in here before. And you remember that the kitchen and the storeroom and the pantry all shared the same flagstone flooring. Whilst you do remember that the flagstones in the pantry were much smaller, you can't work out from your box how quickly you're going, so you don't know, as you feel yourself go over the different flagstones, you've got no real concept of how big those stones are.
Just so I can remember, the pantry's the big room with the swans. The kitchen is the hot kitchen, and then the cold storage is...
well, yes, sure. I'm calling the pantry the cold storage. This is stores, and then the kitchen is like the hot kitchen, if you will. So you've come in this entrance on the wagon.
Right.
And you don't know if you're being wheeled into stores somewhere, if you're being wheeled into the kitchen, or if you're being wheeled all the way into the cold storage pantry, which would be ironic if you were stored right next to Gnob. But it is unlikely. Because you're gone into a nuts, and you know that looking through the cold storage, everything was stuff that would go off. For the most part. There were 2 grain boxes, but you know that they're a much rarer collection. There was also a large... there were some dried goods, but again, they were things that weren't collected very often. Nuts come in every day. You feel your box come to a stop. With an 8 survival, you're not really sure quite how long you were going for or how far you went. But you hear it go very, very quiet. You wait 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and you hear nothing at all.
If it's 20 minutes I hear nothing, I'm gonna risk a peek.
Okay.
I think at that.
You pop your head out the box, and the lid opens about 4 inches, and then hits something. And you see pitch blackness.
I can see in the dark.
That ain't gonna help you. It is pitch black in here. It's not magical darkness. There is just nothing to see. And with, I suppose, if you've got, a dark vision, you might be able to see that you've got a door or a wall or something like right in front of your box, like 3 or 4 inches away from your face.
I'm under the cupboards, is what it seems like then.
Perhaps under, perhaps in. If you remember, there were those long countertops with the bit underneath. But you might remember something about those long countertops. I will remind you, because it has been 2 weeks. If you remember, they went further back.
Yeah.
And there was a dip further back. And there was some netting in that area back there that sort of was designed to catch things that were falling too far back. You didn't know how far back those cupboards went, but quite a way, you would assume. And when you push your head up, you do feel that if you were to push a little harder, you might be able to raise whatever is above your box, but you're not sure. And also, you don't know whether that will attract attention. Corny and Ambrosia. You too.
Calling them now? Okay.
It's that or Amy. So they go stick with Brosy. The two of you. What are we wearing tonight?
Ooh.
Well, I only have one outfit.
That's good.
So, the same outfit.
You're gonna meet him in the same outfit that you wore that
Oh,
fateful night
dear.
in the middle of the night to meet him outside.
Cornelius,
Yes,
this will
I
not
believe
do.
so.
This
Tell you
will
what,
not
I'll give you a D4 if you can tell me what he was wearing, Josh.
Pajamas and slippers.
No,
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 dressing
no.
gown.
It's
Well,
pretty
actually-
close. Anything? Do you remember anything more than that?
Suspenders.
Oh, they're striped.
They were striped. It's not what I was looking for, but yeah, they
They're all
were
white.
striped pajamas.
I said pajamas.
Yeah. I gave you a D4. Striped was actually not what I was looking for, but they were
Oh.
striped. No, he was wearing a night hat. A big night cap.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, with a long bubble on it. Not a bubble.
Oh, that's so cute.
Okay. So you're wearing the same outfit you've already got, and Brosie, of course, you have many outfits to choose from. So
I have many outfits. I'm curious how long this dinner would be expected to last.
so diners are typically expected to stay the majority of the evening.
Oh, okay.
So if you were to
Not a
arrive at
disguised
sort of 7
situation.
p.m., you would probably be there till 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Not
Disguise self
then.
has a casting time of a minute, is it?
No, I think it's instant,
It's
but
an
it only
action.
lasts
It'll
an hour.
last an hour.
Yeah, so you can easily restore the same disguise if you wish, but it will cost you more spell slots.
Yeah, there's no need for that. I have a shift weave. I'm going to shift to a elaborate blue. I have a picture. I'll send you actually.
Okay.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
Ooh.
If
My
you send it to me
my
directly,
noble
I'll
outfit.
hand out it.
Yes, my nobility outfit for my character.
I have an
Totally
entire
understood.
folder called Disguised.
Oh,
Um,
fantastic.
Mostly full of DBs.
Yeah, so it's like a fancy blue, royal blue, lots of ruffles, low cut, got some jewelry, and then a very big, like wide brimmed blue hat with a
I hate to be
feather.
critical of your arting choices, but you seem to have become a whole lot more human. Is that part of
Well,
the disguise, or were you
Part
hoping
of
it
the
would
disguise
be?
is yes, I'm going to just be like caking on the makeup, and I've got a
wig.
red wig.
Let's
Oh my
go.
goodness.
Ooh.
Yeah, kind of a red.
You look like you should be at like a royal's garden party.
She looks like she
yeah.
should be dining at Vasucci's. This is very accurate to the current
Oh,
style.
great.
Especially
Obviously.
especially in the East, large hats are a big thing.
Perfect.
You might be your gown might be a little heavier than you would expect from an Eastern noble. You certainly with this amount of ruffles and this length to the floor, you know it's a very hot environment. They love a big hat. But go ahead and give me a culture check.
Ooh, okay. Culture. 14.
Yeah, 14's good. With a 14, you would know that the style you're currently dressed in is much more indicative of the northern areas. Let me just put you on a Kalan map. And that very flouncy style is very indicative of sort of Kavus, Zerkos, and Lagran. No.
Yes.
Go back
I've
to where you
definitely
were.
been there.
Why is
That's
this
where I'm
moving
from.
the map? I don't
That's
understand.
weird. Oh,
Like,
wow. That is weird.
I'm using the measuring tool. And it's moving the
So
map.
funny.
There we go.
There's always thinking of new ways to
Yeah,
break.
so it's sort of Kavus and beyond. And you would know that sort of Karis and Helmwatch would have the same fancy outfits, but theirs would be way more ostentatious and more austere. So you'd have a higher neck, a closed neck. You would not
Yeah.
show legs so much. You're more a little freer. You're northeastern, but western coast. If this makes any sense, that's a really hard sentence to do.
It makes
Yeah.
sense.
The western side of the eastern spoke. Yeah, so up there. So that's the style you've come in with. And obviously, Ambrosia would have decent knowledge of the whole of Kalan's sort of style, fashion choices, etc.
And I want to use my disguise kit to just, got my wigs in there, a lot of makeup.
Give me a
I'm
performance
trying
check.
to look. Ooh, okay. Not. Do I have advantage with my actor feat? Trying to pass myself off as a different person?
No. This is very much a straight roll.
Okay. That's still a 19 on the die.
Yeah, the advantage would come more from when you're being that person. This is merely how well you have applied the makeup.
25.
Cool. Yeah, that's
Back,
beautiful.
baby.
And when she emerges from the room at the Hungry Halfling, Cornelius, it takes you a moment to even realize Ambrosia is here. She emerges from Ambrosia's room and you're sort of like, wow, fancy lady. Oh, hold on. And as you look a bit more closely, you will realize 'tis her. Gnob, can I have a perception check, please?
You sure can.
Roll better than me.
I rolled a natural one.
Uh-oh.
Okay. You don't have advantage on smelling things, do you?
Peas in the ears. I don't
God,
think so. Let me check.
He's
He's in the nostrils, actually.
Peas in the nostrils. No, nothing.
To be fair, if anyone was to put their face completely submerged in peas, it was unlikely they would smell things outside of the box the peas are in. So this is fair. But after a while, you do hear a little smattering of conversation, which is, father is going to be furious. And then there's a big wait and a gap and sort of, well, clean it up, won't you? You're younger.
This is inside the storeroom?
And then you hear, by only 4 minutes! As the other one sort of shouts back. You would imagine it is very close to you. Yeah, sort of, you would expect if you open the door, you might hit one of them. This discussion goes on for a moment, and you hear the door sort of slam and the pantry leave. And you would know that probably one at least of them has left. And after a little while, the door opens again, and you can hear some sloshing, as if somebody's pouring water onto the floor. And assumably cleaning up something. Again, you hear a little bit more of the banter, and you know it's his special evening. Finally the time to try and put our skills to the test, as if we haven't done it 100 times. But now we're doing it on our own and following the recipe and everything. Are you nervous? No, I don't get nervous. I just get ready.
Okay, T.
Wow.
Interesting.
And if you stay
Is
ready, you ain't got to
Is it
get
still?
ready.
Is it still quite dark in the pantry, or?
I mean, you're in a box, so it's pitch black. You're a box of peas.
I know that, but
green.
like outside, like in the actual pantry before I hopped in the box of peas, was there like?
Oh, there was no light. No, there was no light at all when you close the window behind you. There was no light at all in here. That's the whole point of it. It stays dark and cold. But you know that when the door is open to the kitchen, there is bright light coming through, and you would assume anyone coming in here has a light with them.
Okay.
And after a while, you hear this voice. Excuse me.
Uh-oh.
Are you going to be waiting in here forever? It is just that Chef Vasucci has asked us to start collecting the ingredients for the famous swan this evening. I understand that you will be assisting in the cooking of it, so perhaps you will be assisting in getting out of the way. And you just have to... Oh, yes, Marcel. Apologies, ever so sorry. The name you hear is Marcel.
Marcel.
Ginger's right in front of the screen.
And you will go on to hear him say, we have already had 5 pre-orders for this one. We can only serve a maximum of 60 this evening, so...
Make it 7.
You haven't pre-ordered
Might as well.
anything.
We didn't have the opportunity.
No, you did not. In fact, you haven't booked a table. You have merely been told that if you arrive and state your
Don't
name,
need
you
to.
will be
We're
given...
being invited by the chef.
Yes, but not for a
Yeah.
specific time or day.
He said any.
Exactly,
day
so you
between
haven't
stuff.
pre-booked a table. You've just, you're going to arrive and say, hello,
Yeah,
I'm Corny.
Just showing up and being.
No, I'm
given a
William.
table.
Don't say Cornelius. Say you're William.
Yeah, don't say that. That's very that's very fashionable. We don't need reservations. That's how important we are.
Indeed. So, as it approaches sort of 6:30, 6:45, you would know that service is starting soon. It's probably about time to turn up if you're posh. Gnob and DB, are either of you waiting for anything specific to move out of your hiding place?
I'd like to get out of the box before the kitchen starts to get too crazy. I'd like to make an attempt to,
Okay. Give me a insight or survival check, your choice.
it doesn't matter, but I rolled bad on survival, so we're gonna try insight.
Didn't know if you're proficient in either.
Shake it up.
Okay, little better. That is a 13.
Yeah, so with a 13, you're aware of the sort of the hustle and bustle that is likely happening in the moments before service. You've got a good idea of how long you've been in here, and you would know that it's approaching 7 o'clock. If there is ever a time to make noise, it is probably about now. And you remember that with those nets, maybe if you could tip the box on its side, you could sort of like scramble out.
Then I will try to scramble.
Great.
Right,
Acrobatics or athletics, your choice.
Scramble.
Acrobatics. Cats are liquid. Let's go.
That's right. No bones.
17.
And liquid sloshing to one side will eventually tilt over a crate. As cat liquid moves and you sort of rock a bit, and then it sounds so loud to your ears when the box goes over. It's so loud, and the crunch of nuts as you sort of scratch down on them. But actually, as the lid comes open, you can hear, like, there is so much noise outside. You can hear the honking of geese.
The grinding? Do we hear
Geese,
the grinding?
not swans.
Geese, not swans?
Geese, not swans. You hear the honking of geese. You can hear some clattering around. You hear a man yelling at some other people, etc. And, you've fallen over basically into the net. And as your lid comes open, you can see that if you just slide up along the net, you might be able to pull your box along and then, like, shuffle past it. It is pitch black here, but you can you look down and you see a couple of rats eagerly rushing off away from you down the back of this cabinet. And you believe that
we should have done the health inspector thing. Look at this, there's rats everywhere. No one even cares.
Back of the storeroom cupboard. They are monkey nuts.
What the heck is that? To the Google.
To the Google. Does this not translate?
Peanuts?
Sort of. Here, if you get a peanut, it's just the nut. If you get it shelled, it's a monkey nut.
Okay.
So they're peanuts with their shells on.
Okay,
so they make that
That's
sort of
a cute
little
name.
So we heard swans we saw swans last
You
night.
know that swans are in there, but
And
you can
today
hear
we're
geese.
hearing geese.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe they're being
And then
quiet.
suddenly you just hear screaming and baying. And then silence.
Uh-oh.
No more
I think
geese.
they killed
Oh,
the
yeah,
geese.
and there were quite a lot of them. Like, you had like 20 geese go down.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
I know a snap neck when I hear one.
Yeah, you had them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The sound getting more quiet as you
Just
went.
going in a line.
Before we continue with your journey, DB, I would like to ask Mr. Gnob whether there is any particular indicator you are looking for as a time to come out.
I'm looking for a large commotion to happen because realistically, Knob's not going to be able to sneak across anywhere with his big ass frame. So there's going to have to be some sort of commotion outside of just the typical food cooking stuffs and problems. Although after service had started, I might feel inclined to come out of the box a little bit. Sort of hide behind the door.
You hear sort of slamming of the door, and then after a little moment, you hear one person come rushing in and, I forgot the... I don't know, you don't really hear, you just, I forgot the... And then you hear the sort of scooping of something out of a barrel near you, and the door slam closed. And then silence. After about 15-20 minutes, give me a survival check, see whether you can work out the time.
Oh, yeah, that's a good skill. We need to get synchronized watches.
That's a 7.
It's probably somewhere between 6 and 7.
Fair.
Service is probably starting fairly soon.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's already started, you're not too sure.
I'll wait a few minutes longer.
Okay, you wait, you listen. Nothing. Silence.
Yeah. The big thing, we need to make sure that the recipe is down here, because it seems like it wasn't when the twins came and were talking earlier.
Correct.
So we need to wait. That has to be in the kitchen.
Yeah, well, they need to start doing it.
Okay.
So yeah, I think Gnob is about ready to crawl out of this box.
Okay. Then I will reveal to you the most illustrious guests are just arriving right now. Because it is 7 p.m. Cornelius and Fudge. Wow. Cornelius and Ambrosia. I was thinking Cornelius Fudge. Cornelius and Ambrosia just arriving at the front door. In fact, DB's box tipped over only minutes ago.
Wow.
And DB, as it has now gone silent in the room briefly, and then you hear a little bit of sort of talking and, well, don't just stand there, pluck them, you idiot! And then you sort of, as you clamber right to the door, you hear, do I start here? It doesn't really matter where you start. Start at the beginning, finish at the end.
My goodness.
You know this to be that orc that ran over Ambrosia earlier today.
Does that sound like the kid he's yelling at, or just a teen?
It sounds like he's yelling at some random kitchen person.
Mm-hmm.
They don't talk
Someone will
back
be
much.
in here for a while plucking geese.
You know that there will be people in here all day for service.
Yeah.
All evening
In
for
and
service. You definitely know you are in the stores area, and in fact, we shall put you in a little part of the stores area just now.
Nice.
You know, you're under a couple. No, this is the cellar. Never mind, but still, it'll do. We'll busy kitchen. You're in bits of the busy kitchen. And you can sort of get to the edge of your cupboard door and just tilt it open ever so slightly. And you can start to peer through a tiny little crack. And as you do so, you see that the plucking is happening quite a long way away. It's over at the right at that sort of little abattoir area. I have a change in music for this moment. Where's investigation? As you appear at this crack, you see that sort of plucking of the geese is happening quite a long way away from you, and there are a lot of them. You see a very morose girl, sort of maybe in her early 20s, looking like she's really fed up that she's got that duty. You see the wagon is pushed up quite close to where you are stored, or your box is stored, more specifically. And as you try and peer to the left and peer to the right, you do see sort of all the way to the left is the swinging door that people are going in and out of the stores room. And as you peer all the way to the right, you see that there is nobody to your right. There is only this one girl over there, and then people coming from the kitchen out through the stores area. You would assume that most of the dry prep, pre-meal prep has been done here.
Okay. How tall is this girl?
Maybe 5'3", 5'4".
Perfect.
Subdue.
She has her hair sort of pulled up in a bun, and she has a little sort of ring around it and a net going down the back of her head. She has dark brown hair, and even from here you can see that she has sort of rounded ears. She's definitely human or humanesque. And you see a really unusual sort of painting or tattoo coming up the back of her neck, right into her hairline.
Whoa.
Is it time for shenanigans already, guys? Do I try
I
to?
don't know.
I mean,
Yeah. She was just tasked with plucking.
There's a chance
right?
that if this fucks up, I'm just gonna leave. You guys will have to sort it out.
What
It's
do
okay.
you have to get rid of her?
We will find out
Okay,
shortly.
go ahead. All right.
Okay.
I'll put it in chat.
Cornelius and Ambrosia. No, don't spoil it.
Okay.
We will come to it.
I
I'm
think
going to
you know
give you a
what
few
I'm gonna
minutes
do.
to plan.
I think you know what's gonna happen.
I mean,
just remembered our knockout gas. So
I don't
maybe
know.
that-
She might die.
Well,
For all I know.
spontaneously.
Cornelius and Ambrosia, as you
Oh, this is
you
nice.
arrive at the front door, you see a man who sort of gives you a long, deep bow. Says you, good evening. Good evening. Do you have a reservation?
wow.
Beautiful elf.
Hello.
Steel grey hair pulled up tight, wearing sort of your finest tuxedo with a bow tie. Greets you.
Wow.
I returned the bow with a long curtsy.
I'm afraid we do not have a reservation, but we have been invited by the head chef himself.
Of course you have. Of course you have. He is never thinking about how many tables we have, only the people he would like to see. But don't worry, Vasucci will find a place for you, for it is him that has invited you. Please, you will have to bear with me one moment and just wait by the door while I go and ask him to come and seat you personally. But in the meantime, can I take your name, please?
William, thank you.
William, and yourself, mademoiselle?
Lady Dupont.
Lady Dupont. A beautiful name. Wonderful. And with that, he sort of gives you a bow, and he sort of turns and He reaches, sort of points over to a woman who sort of seems to be in her late 50s. She's definitely human, has grey hair, but it's sort of beautifully curled around her shoulders. Sort of very artful grey that has little bits of white twisted into it. She wears a pair of spectacles and has on a long apron. And he says, Mademoiselle Pauline, if you will, please. And she sort of comes over and... please find these two a drink while I go and speak to Cornelius. He has
Wow!
While I go and speak to Vespucci, I will. He's on to you. He's on to you. While I go and find Vespucci, he has invited these two guests for dinner, and of course he is going to be very busy. I don't know if you know, but this evening is the premiere of his son's cooking the wonderful steak Vespucci. It is going to be a most magnificent premiere. I am talking too much. I will go now. And you see Pauline sort of giving him the whisk. And she comes over and she hands you a goblet each and she fills it with a sparkling pale orange like wine. It's an orange coloured drink. Very bubbly, very nice. I'll take a culture check from the two of you, please.
Does it taste like tango?
Oh my god, I rolled like hell.
Is that just charisma?
If you do not have proficiency,
10.
yes. I thought Cornelius was proficient in. Watch, maybe not. No, William is. Sorry.
I've got
Just a 10.
Yeah. Okay.
Twins. We don't know. This
Yeah,
thing.
twins 10. Well, I don't know why you guys always think a 10 is such a low check, right? A 10 is fairly average.
Pretty average.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
the middle of the road, actually.
So, both of you are aware that this smells and tastes a little citrusy. In fact, you're pretty sure it tastes like grapefruit. It's like a sort of grapefruit soda with a little bit of a kick to it. Perhaps a grapefruit
spiked.
sparkling wine or a sort of vodka and sparkling grapefruit juice or something like that. Either way, it's very nice. It's a very sort of palate cleansing drink. It feels very fresh. But you don't know anything about the details of it, why it would be served, what the relevance is, or where it's traditional, or where it might be from.
Yeah,
Anything like
I got
that.
foodies.
Can I like just glance around the room, see if anyone else has this drink?
So you will notice that there are a few other people who seem to be waiting to be sat. I mean, all the people who are waiting to be sat are drinking this drink. Everybody who is sat down seems to have a larger, more wine-based goblet. And you will see that most of the tables are full. There are lots of long tables here this evening. And as both of you, as your eyes sort of peruse the area, you will note that it seems to be a lot of noble families and their entourage. So you see lots of large families, many, many people at the tables. No children in sight. There should be not in this restaurant at all. Not one child. You do see sort of at one particular table, there's a youngster, probably elven or half elven. Looks to be 18 or 19 in human years, but perhaps approaching 25, 26 in elven
Kill
years.
him.
Okay. Seems a bit
Yeah,
unnecessary,
we need to
but
clear
go
out
for
some
it.
of these tables.
However, you do see that there is one table for two, which is sort of a little over towards the chef's door. You do look around and you see 4 couples waiting.
Oh, this won't do. I will like kind of lower my hat a bit as I turn towards Cornelius, like we're just conversing.
Love
And
that.
I'll say we need to get rid of these couples. Do you have anything that might scare
Just
them
the idea
off?
that you guys are just going to murder people willy-nilly is really on my mind right now.
No. I was just gonna consider making a really, I don't know, like a stinky smell or something. Or actually, minor illusion can't do a smell.
Okay.
A gross-looking thing that'll make them leave.
No,
then.
but
They look like they're waiting for a table. It's unlikely they're just going to randomly leave because
Yeah.
it smells funny.
Yeah, we need
I will
to
tell you
scare
that.
them off.
So, Marcon is going to come back. And he goes over to a woman with sort of red hair all the way down to her hips and says, Mrs. Genevieve, you will be sitting outside this evening. May I take you to your table? She said, outside? But it is cold outside. Well, I'm afraid that you do not have a reservation and we do not want to turn you away at the only table we can. She said, well, what about that court table over there? It's a table for 2 just... I'm so sorry, madame. It is reserved. I'm sure you understand if you had a booking, you would not want somebody else to take your table. We will eat quickly. No, I'm afraid it is reserved for only a few minutes' time. Come on, I will take you outside. It is lovely. We have a lovely prestidigitation heater. It will heat up your entire little space where you sit. It will feel nice. It will be at home. And you can watch the stars as they come out and the sun as it sets. Imagine the romance, mademoiselle.
C'est magnifique.
And after a little while, Genevieve sort of, very well. But we won't be sat next to others, will we? No, of course. At Vesucci's, we only sit people every other table. Of course, you will be sat next to somebody, mademoiselle, but I am sure that they will not be offensive to your wonderful senses. Perhaps you will even find somebody who you are friends with. In fact, is that not over there, Lady Chartrice? Do you not know Lady Chartrice? You do. I know that you, Lady Chartrice. You were chatting together just the other evening when you came as a four. Perhaps if I sit her next to you and I sit you at the end, then you will not have anybody who you do not know in your way. Lady Chartrice! I am very sorry, madame. The table for two over there is booked. I would like to be sitting you outside. Please, you come with me. And he takes two couples outside and sits them outside. As you look over, you see your rivals. Two gentlemen. They appear to be in their late 50s, early 60s. They are wearing matching suits in different shades. One of them is wearing a deep purple suit, and one of them is wearing a very pale pink suit. They're both wearing the same shirt, and you will see Veralia's wardrobe embroidered on each of their suits. You will see they're both wearing very fancy shoes, and one of them has an umbrella that is shaped like a flamingo. And indeed, the crook of the umbrella is a flamingo's head. And as a young waitress sort of comes a little close, the umbrella will squawk out, "Another drink!"
Wow. Ambrosia's so pissed off at how freaking much swag these guys have.
They're trying to.
And they do. And he sort of turns around. The waitress turns around and, sorry, sir, did you want another drink? And the man sort of looks at, yes, we do. Both of us. We've been waiting quite long enough. There's a table right over there. I don't see why we haven't been sat yet. Nonsense, Bartholomew. Don't worry about it. I'm sure they'll sit us shortly. They're just trying to find the right table for us.
Mm-hmm.
And coming down the kitchen, you sort of see, coming down the corridor from the kitchen, you see Mr. Vesucci himself. And he looks over and he sort of sees you, William. And he sees these two gentlemen. And he sort of goes to head towards you, but you see, like, he knows he can't. He diverts himself and he goes over. Bartholomew.
Oh, this won't do.
It is my pleasure to see you here again. It has been such a long time since you came. We must find you a table. How about the ultimate in a private dining experience? We will find you a whole room to just the two of you where you can make raucous noise. I have a violinist who I can get to... Now, Vesucci, are you about to put us alone somewhere else?
In the basement.
And so she sort of looks and... Well, you see, we're so booked up. I'm meant to be teaching the boys today. It's the premiere of the Swan under their first creation, and I can't be... But upstairs, you will have a waitress and a violinist assigned solely to you. Please, it will be the most wonderful of evenings. It will be so romantic. We'll sit you by the window. You'll have a view outside of the lovely sunset. Then Bartholomew looks and... We will remember this.
Uh-oh.
And then you just hear the umbrella go, and not in a good way!
Who is this guy?
And he sort of squeezes his hand on the umbrella's beak, and the flamingo goes quiet. Very well, Vesucci. But Marsan will take us to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Marsan comes over, and of course I will. Which table is that, chef? Vesucci explains they're going to be sitting private dining. I want a waitress assigned to them, a violinist assigned to them. And you just see Marsan getting redder and redder in the face. He's like, what do you mean I have to assign a waitress to one table upstairs? You know, this is the big night. I've planned everything. He's like, But it is, of course, monsieur. It would be the most fantastic of evenings. You will sit by the window. You will see the sunset. It will be fabulous. You will be able to smell the orchards through the open window. I will take you upstairs right now. You will have a violinist assigned to you, and we will give you Christine. Christine will serve you all evening, and you just hear Vasucci go, Christine. And you see him sort of scratch his head, and then you hear very quietly Vasucci say, I will get you back for this, my son. And he looks over and William, it is my pleasure. And this must be your foraging friend. You can't possibly be foraging in those clothing. You are a most beautiful woman. But, of course, you are no replacement for our Bella.
Wow. Yes.
I still don't correct him.
He departed Arbella.
I had the pleasure of meeting your friend William at 3 o'clock in the morning the other night. I was speaking of my fair Violetta, and well, in some ways you remind me of her, though she was a little more rustic. I have a table by the kitchen. We reserve it for the most special of guests, and tonight you will be my most special of guests. I assume that you will both eat the swan.
Whatever you will give us.
We have plenty of saffron to spare. I would suggest for your first course, I will not be able to come out for a while. I'm teaching my sons this evening. So come with me. I will sit you at a table. He sort of, as you walk, he turns to you, and for the very first course, we're going to be serving scallops. And after that, a little palate cleanser of orange sorbet. And then I would suggest for the optional starter that you personally go for the truffles. They are so fresh and recently picked, and of course in your foraging you will have experienced many dishes like this, and this will be something that you can really enjoy. And then after that we will serve you another palate cleanser, the leaf we call it, and after that the swan. And after that, you will indulge yourself in a dessert. We have 2 fabulous dessert chefs. I never cook a dessert. I pride myself in the fact that I have never ever had to cook a dessert. I am a terrible dessert chef, terrible pastry chef. Don't know anything about it. Not got a sweet tooth, me personally. But I am sure that you will enjoy whatever it is they have to. Except, well, perhaps I will find a dessert chef, because mine has just been assigned to a table upstairs. Can I get you to sit just there? And then he sort of goes in and, without, like, sort of, as soon as he leaves your side, he sort of opens the kitchen door. Christine! But your waitress is blacks. You'll be serving a table upstairs. And you just hear sort of, as the door closes, you hear, but what about the focaccia? As the door closes. Why she's serving focaccia as a dessert, no one knows.
William spoke of your hospitality, and I can say.
Oh, he's gone.
Second to none.
He's gone.
Okay.
Into the kitchen. He left you. He left you completely there. Didn't offer you a drink. Didn't offer you anything.
As we get to the table, I will pull the chair out for Ambrosia.
Thank you, dear.
DB, you would have heard this commotion continue. As you hear Christine say, but what about the focaccia? And I'm already plucking the geese, and then I've got dessert to serve. Who is going to take on over these? Don't worry. The unseen servants will have to take care of the plucking, and after that, we will, Roman, you're ready with those sausages, are you not? Fantastic. You don't need to do the scallops tonight. I will do the scallops, and I will teach my sons. For who else could do that but Vasucci? And then after the focaccia, well, the desserts, well, somebody will have to make the desserts. Roman, it'll be you. You will take care of the desserts. You'll do a fantastic job, I'm sure. Roman said, if I've never done dessert, don't worry. Dessert is the least important meal on the menu. I'm sure that even if you fuck it up, only half the patrons will be bothered. Don't worry. All our rave reviews will come in the swan. Boys, are you ready to do the swan? And you hear them sort of, yes, father. As they say this, he sort of goes into the kitchen and he begins regaling his sons with this sort of, as you know, the swan is the most important dish of our establishment. It is what has gained us our fame all over the... And at this point, Gnob, it is you that is hearing this part of the conversation. DB, you hear this fade out as the kitchen door slams and all the... You can hear... Christine complaining about the fact that the unseen servants never pluck all the feathers, and customers always complain that there's bits of feather left in their food. And then she, you can hear her sort of getting changed. and cursing and spluttering about it. Then she leaves. And then, Gnob, you hear this conversation sort of fading in, if you will. And once again, we will return to the busy kitchen sounds, which I think we have somewhere. But goodness me, what letter are they under? This will do. We're just going to have this on for the rest of the session. He says, pressing stop instead of play.
Can Cornelius and I hear this busy kitchen commotion from where we are?
No. You hear like very brief, like, but what about? Is it?
And then it closes.
And then as the door swings open and close, you can also hear quite near you a table of 12 are sort of engaging in quite rambunctious conversation. You notice that they're definitely all family and they're picking on the girl who appears to have brought her boyfriend for the first time for a meal. And it's only a short moment before a waiter comes over and sort of bows twice. And good evening. My name is Nicholas. I'll be your waiter for this evening. I understand that Master Vasucci has invited you himself. He has recommended that you begin with the scallops, and then the palate cleanse, and then the. Did you have any allergies or special requests?
No.
No, we'll take the chef's recommendation. Thank you.
Wonderful. I'm ever so sorry. I can't even recount it to you. He sort of shouted at me as he ran past, and I will go and check with him personally exactly what he would like you to be served. In the meantime, might I offer you a glass of our finest wine? We have recently had this persimmon wine imported. This is it is quite sweet, but it is a lovely starting drink. Although I do see you do already have the grapefruit. Would you both like a glass of the persimmon?
Yeah, will these flavors clash or complement each other?
No, the grapefruit wine is a palate cleanser. It prepares you for anything that is coming next. The persimmon is lovely and it pairs very well with its scallops.
I'll take it.
We'll put that drink to the side then and take the wine.
Do you care for some ice water on your table? We have imported the ice right down from the mountains of Varak.
Well, got to have the imported ice.
Lovely.
So you would know that oftentimes it is cheaper to have the ice imported from a good 50 miles away than it is to employ somebody to cast shape water for the entire evening. Especially as they can only affect 5 foot cube at a time. So if they get too much to the ice, the people who started with their ice, it just suddenly disappears.
Oh, that's funny.
At least I like to think that's how it works.
Yeah, I can't believe you thought that far into the logistics of ice creation, James.
Jamal told me ice had to come from a mountain, and I was like, I don't think it does. Like, there's magic in this world. He was like, yes, but just imagine the logistics. It says you can only have 5 instances. I was like, all right, cool, whatever, Jamal. But this is a conversation we had about 3.5 years ago when preparing Darkness Over Kalan, but it stuck with me, so I thought I'd bring it back. Anyway, Gnob. As you are having this conversation, I'm assuming you have now risen from the peas and are somewhat standing by the door.
By the door, sort of trying to listen, and maybe
one could say you broke the peas.
Yes,
pretty good.
As you listen in at the door, you will hear Master Vasucci begin to recant the glories of the swan. And he will talk about the many different places where this dish has been eaten, where he's been invited to cook it. And just how far the reach of Vasucci's has got. And he will call this, for a small backwater town like we live in, even those in Puiston, and in fact, even in Galvinia themselves, which you would know to be the capital, they have enjoyed Vasucci's saffron swan. And I am the only one who knows the recipe in full. You think that you have cooked it, but you have not. You have cooked different pieces of it. You have taken different moments in the full stage play. And in fact, you do know about 80% of the recipe in different parts. But it is the bringing of it all together. It is the exact seasoning of the salt and the saffron. It is the precise timing. In fact, it is like choreography in the kitchen. The saffron swan is a dish that takes 45 minutes to prepare, and every minute must be perfection. Are you ready to join the ballet? Are you ready to partake in the greatest of performances?
Gnob is rolling his eyes.
After a very long pause, you just hear, yes, father.
I like how intense this guy is.
The saffron swan begins with the plucking of the swan. which has already been done.
Okay.
After that, we bring this one in, and we beat it. We take the bones from it, and we beat that flesh tender.
Wow.
Now, when I first started this dish, I was doing it with my bare hands, but soon I had puffy knuckles, and it looked like I had been fighting in the kitchen. So no. Now, you will take the rolling pin, each one of you, one-handed. Keep the rhythm up. And he begins to sort of slap the side of the swan all the way down one side, all the way down
That
the
is
other.
awesome.
It should ply in your hands like the very breasts of your first maiden.
Wow.
And then he'll sort of talk them through this process, and as he begins to go on this, you just hear after a little while, Gnob, you hear a few lines. I would like from you, please. What I really want is an alchemy check. You don't do alchemy, Gnob, do you?
No. You can do
so
an arcana check.
Give me
or
give me an arcana check.
medicine check. Okay.
Oh, you can give me either one of those. I like medicine. That sounds good, but I won't force you to do it because I think arcana is probably a lot better for you.
Arcana is slightly better for me, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Good roll. Good roll.
it's a 10. Yeah, it's a 10.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you do have a card. Do you want to use the card? This is your last opportunity to use the card.
Sure.
Use the card.
This may be
Use
the
the
single most
card.
important role of the entire evening. So
Oh.
please use the card. To live is to suffer. Those boys are agreeing right now. To survive is to
Okay.
find some meaning in the suffering. Oh, Nob is not into that puny philosophy shit. But he'll take a 12. Okay, with a 12, you just catch this slight line where the boy says, "But father, you've missed a line." And at that point, you know that the recipe is in the kitchen in front of them. Very important line. DC was 12. So, a bit of luck there.
Good job.
DB. At this particular moment, you hear Christine storm out of the stores. And as you look through your crack, left and right, all you can see is one half-orc sat despondently with his back to the wagon, about 12 foot away from you, looking out the door, and you can see smoke curling over his shoulder.
Are there any swans left? Are all the
Oh,
swans
yeah,
dead?
loads. No,
Okay,
20
so-
geese
still alive.
lie dead on one wall.
At least one swan is getting
swan
beat.
is being killed.
Okay. I'm going to, first of all,
Just to give you a bit of perspective, you can serve 60 swan dishes from one swan.
I am going to take some of my throwing up potion, my potion of Ipecac, as I've called it, and I'm going to put it on one of those monkey nuts
I like where this
that's
is
in the
going.
cabinet with me.
Okay.
First of all.
Yeah.
Then Christine is going to come out of the cabinet. I'm going to disguise myself as her.
Okay.
Mm.
walk into the
Give
cabinet.
me a history check to see how well you recall exactly what she was wearing when she
Okay.
left, as you only saw it through a crack.
Oh dear.
Oh, we're in the store.
Minus three to history.
That's great.
Oh,
That's-
shit. You have a card? You have a card? Yeah, you have a card.
That is a 2.
Oh, my.
Okay. The problem is you saw what she was wearing when she was preparing, but she sort of, as she got dressed, she sort of went out. So you just have to imagine exactly what a waitress might wear.
Mhm.
You look
well-
exactly like Christine. You're just not currently wearing any clothes that Christine was wearing.
Okay. I mean, it is what it is.
Mhm. But I mean, the disguise self doesn't let you change clothing anyway, does it?
Yeah, it does. It's your whole,
Yeah, including your
including your
clothing,
clothing,
armor,
armor,
weapons.
weapon, belongings, everything. I put it in the.
Your clothing, armor, weapons, and other belongings in your person. Yes. So, okay. In that case, I'll say you're wearing very standard waitressing clothing, I would imagine.
Well, see the weight is the day before because we cased. it, right?
Exactly, but you don't know exactly what Christine would wear. You hadn't seen her waitressing before, and you do know that the waitresses were wearing quite individual clothing.
Sure. So I assume it's just black slacks, black shirt, whatever, right? Whatever. you think it was.
Yeah, you know that there's a long white pinafore that the girl that you saw yesterday was wearing.
So she's wearing that. So the orc's back to me, and the smoke coming. And now that I'm out of the cabinet, do I see what the smoke is from? Has he got a?
He's
fire in
smoking a
front of him?
pipe, sat with his back to you at the end of the cart. He's clearly on a break, just smoking away. As you sort of come out, you do see sort of flying out of the kitchen door and straight out. You see a chef a waiter, a gentleman, carrying a tray with 2 plates on it. And he's sort of like straight out the door. He doesn't even pause to glance into the storeroom. Let's just... Fact, he wouldn't have come into the storeroom, sorry. You see the door open very briefly here as he comes out and grabs something and goes back in while you were in there. But the waiters, the staff are actually going in this way and then they're coming back out like this. This is the circuit, if you will. They'd only go out here if they need something, so that's more chefs. So perhaps you just caught the back of a member of staff going in this way. Over here is where the orc is looking out that way.
Okay. And the geese are...
dead all the way along this wall, being...
Oh, sorry. The swans are like over here.
The swans are in a little... Yeah, they're in a little section here. They've not got that heaty light on that was making the whirring sound. They're just in cages, and they seem quite content. They're very quiet right now. Looking over there, give me a perception check.
Great. $19.
All right.
In the 11th of 12 cages, you see a boy curled up, sleeping. He's the same boy from last night.
Kitchen boy. Okay. That's kind of fucked up. But the swans are awake.
The cage door is open, for what it's worth. That's just where he's gone to sleep. Yes, the swans are there, but currently sleeping. Or
he's on the night shift.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
I want to take my monkey nut and throw it in the cage with one of the swans that seem to be the most awake.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Try to get him to eat the monkey nut. I assume swans love nuts. You know, DB assumes swans love nuts.
Yeah, why wouldn't they, right?
Swans just eat whatever. No.
Well, swans can eat seeds. They're not recommended to be fed nuts. But they will.
I wanted to get sick, so great.
But they will. Yes, okay. So yes, it sort of it takes a bite and
Dumb bird.
swallows and then just goes and you just hear that noise and this sort of the shell hits the wall opposite you, and the swan just falls over.
Did he die?
Its mouth is open, and it starts to ooze liquid out of its face.
Ew.
Its head twitches every now and again. One wing is doing a little flap.
Baby, how could you?
You've sent a swan into anaphylactic shock.
That's great.
Okay, great. Plan's going as
The orc very briefly raises his pipe and just goes, "Shut up and die quietly!" Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. You just hear the orc repeating to himself over and over again. Cornelius and Ambrosia. So sit at the table. You have been served 2 glasses of the persimmon wine. And your waiter, whose name is...
Macron.
No.
Damn it.
No, Macron is the president of France. Marson
I think it's Nicholas.
Marson was the maitre d'. That is the person who sits
But
you down
the
and
thing
is the
is-
host. Your waiter's name is Nicholas.
Ambrosia's too good to remember people's names, so
She's too
Ambrosia doesn't
good
recall his
to
name.
remember his name.
I would have remembered.
Yeah. Oh well, his name is
Okay.
Nicholas.
If you remember.
Nicholas. Okay, yeah.
As he comes over, are you ready
My
for the scallops?
character doesn't acknowledge staff.
The scallops are a journey.
Not the help.
The scallops are a journey of butter and garlic from the beach to your tonsils.
Take me there.
We must have
And what? Is it true the chef's sons are here preparing?
Tonight is the premiere of the Saffron Swan, served by Lucius and the other guy. Bear with.
See.
Oh, Nicholas is gonna get fired.
No, Nicholas knows their names. It is James that is completely forgotten.
Child.
No, they're twins. They can't be a middle child.
One's loved more. It's just a fact. One was planned.
Okay, so in my defense, why would I have possibly called them Lucius and Dorellis? That is, I was never going to remember that.
Confuse yourself.
I was never going to remember that.
Okay,
Lucius and
then I'll
Dorellis.
say-
It is their premiere this evening. They will be cooking the very swan you will be eating for your 5th course.
I look forward to it. Will we get a chance to meet these chefs tonight? I hope.
No. Vasucci himself will come out many times, I'm sure, but the boys are strictly to remain in the kitchen this evening. It is well known that they like to gallivant and gallop. That's not quite the right word, is it?
Okay. Ambrosia's making like a big show of being like put off by this, but I'm not going to complain.
Perhaps after service is done, they may come out and greet you.
That would be lovely.
I shall see that it is arranged.
I dig into my my
you,
journey
Nicholas.
of butter.
There's no journey of butter yet. He's asked you if you're ready. At the moment, all you have is the persimmon wine. The persimmon wine. Do you have persimmon in another country? In other countries?
Yeah, I've never had a wine of it.
No. It just shouldn't be a wine, but it is technically a berry. It could be made into a wine.
I don't see why not.
Yeah. So just for those of you who don't know, it's like a Japanese, a bit like a.
Looking
It's somewhere between a tomato and an orange.
Yeah, it's a tomato and a fruit.
Yeah,
Tomato.
it's tomato. But I got you. It's quite a sweet fruit. Very lovely flavor. It's traditionally used as a garnish for cocktails, but it is quite tasty. And what you get here is sort of like a very sweet wine that is verging on sort of like an overly sweet rosé, but with cutting through notes of very citrusy flavors. And as you sort of begin to drink this, it's quite moreish. But you know that you need something salty to go with it. And within moments, these scallops come out. Each one is, so he's carrying a tray, and there are two sort of like sizzling pans. And you will see him sort of motion with his hand. And you can see that he's holding on his thumb and his finger. He's sort of pushing them together in a way that makes two rings touch. And when he does this, he is able to lift with mage hand your dishes onto your table, for they are incredibly hot. And he says, "Do not touch the dishes, please. You will find them very hot. But I have for you here the perfect eating tool." And he lowers the tray to each of you, upon which you will find two napkins. You already have napkins yourself, so you would know this is just to serve the forks on. With these sort of long, very thin, tri-pronged forks. Two-pronged forks. I don't know what tri-pronged forks are. So they're a bit like the sort of thing you might roast a marshmallow on, but very thin and narrow. And they're perfect for just skewering a scallop and...
Perfect.
And then you hear this commotion a little way upstairs. Sort of halfway on the stairs, you can see this girl. And she's got this sort of pulled up brown hair and a bun. She's clearly wearing a chef's clothing with a sort of waiter's apron over the top and a waiter's larger apron underneath. It's clear she's not meant to be waitering, but she is. You even see that she's wearing proper like outside boots that make a little clonking noise as she goes up and down the stairs. You know, real sort of like anti-hot food boots, not waitering shoes.
Yeah.
She's coming down. She's sort of Masson. The gentleman upstairs is complaining that the window it won't open and it's too hot and he can't smell the orchards and you promised him he would smell the orchards, and you hear this sort of commotion going up and down. Bartholomew is a most important customer of ours, and that is going on. Gnob, where you at?
Oh, I'm still here, chilling, listening in, waiting for my moment.
Okay, and what do you perceive your moment might be? Is there something specific you're waiting for? Is there a moment I should come back to you?
So I want to say, basically, I know that DB is trying to cause some shit on. He made that known to us. And I assume that at some point, Cornelius and Ambrosia are going to cause a commotion in the dining room, such that...
So you're waiting till you hear drama?
Yeah, drama. I want to hear. I want to know that
drama.
Vasucci is gone.
So is it fair to say that you are the snatcher?
I think he must
it might
be.
be. I'm
The
like
plan is Gnob is probably the snatcher. Okay.
yeah, sounds like
You, DB, would be close quarters catastrophe causer.
As always, that is.
Okay,
I put that
great.
on like a subtitle.
That's your CV. Top of the title, yes. Close quarters catastrophe causer, and you two outside will, I'm sure, cause drama when it comes, or at least keep the chef somewhere. Catastrophe, yes. Well, Mr. Catastrophe. DB, you see this swan to the one inside.
Dying.
Is there?
And then the boy sort of comes over, rushes out his cage, runs over. Oh! No! No!
Oh,
George!
No.
George!
Oh no.
Don't worry, George. I shall fetch Naomi. And he sort of runs into the kitchen, but he goes in the outdoor. And as he goes in the outdoor, it opens, bam, into his face. You just hear a thunk, and the boy just drops like a stone. He is completely stone cold unconscious.
Why is that always George?
Why is it always George? Well, the young boy was not George, and yet he is completely knocked out. And you see standing there in front of you a waiter, sort of long oiled locks. He's got a little nameplate that says Nicholas on it. And he's holding a tray with two sort of like orange sorbets on them. One of which is now sort of slid to the edge of the tray, and he's just edging it back on. He looks down. Nancy! Boy down! And then he sort of walks out. And then you see this old woman sort of swoop on over and sort of pick him up and, oh, Michael, what has happened to you? Michael. Oh, look at that. Oh, your nose is quite broken. Well, never mind. And she goes and sits him on a seat, and you just hear the half-orc, shout out, Nancy! Swan's dying! And sort of comes over and, oh,
Swan.
no, look at it is fitting! And not fitting at all! We must get it out before it spreads its egg! And Nancy will reach into the cage, open the door, grab the swan by the neck, and she begins to sort of just launches it straight out the front, straight out the front, into the outside. And she turns about. Why did you do something about it, idiot? She says to the orc man, and she sort of shouts out, "Somebody get one of the slaves in here. We have an unconscious boy, a dying swan. There's something up. There's a plague." And you just hear, as she says this, one of the waitresses comes out. The plague? Surely not a plague. And then you hear it filtering into the kitchen, and Gnob, you will hear in the kitchen, and I'm going to keep calling you that, you will hear one of the boys say to the other boy's father, what do they mean there's a plague? Is that a code word? Masucci says, no, don't worry. All of our waitresses are equally dramatic. Nancy is just as dramatic. I am sure that what they mean is that a single fly has landed upon a shelf somewhere, and they believe that the age of death is upon us. No, we must continue, dear boy. We're on line 41. And as you'll see, line 41 states that the saffron must be molded between the fingers, like you are trying to summon love itself from inside your hands. And when you start to summon love itself, you will feel it. And as soon as you can smell it in your nostrils, boy. Can you smell it? Yes, you can. Indeed, you can. You feel that? That is my sweat and saffron mixing perfectly. Wonderful. Now that you know it is ready, it is time, dear boys. We must slap it on the swan. Good. Okay. And he does sort of begins pressing, and he sort of massage it. Yes. Treat it like the rump. Treat it like a rump. Wonderful.
Nob is hearing all this.
Prepare for the moment.
Nob is just like being traumatized in this panic.
Nob is also throwing up.
There must be no kinks in the flesh. There must be no sign of muscular tension in the swan. The swan must be relaxed as it has ever been. So relaxed, in fact, that it might pass wind at any moment. I find that when I am most relaxed, I'm always passing wind. Do you pass wind when you're relaxed? Please.
No.
Now, you begin. Now, massage it in, boys. Beautiful. Look at that. Give it some passion, Lawless. And sort of you hear this conversation going on, and then you hear Nancy come in. There's a plague! And Masucci turns around. What do you mean there's a plague? One of the swans has died. And Masucci sort of turns around. Did we kill it? No, it was fitting on the floor. Well, what of Michael? Is Michael not carrying? Michael's unconscious! You just hear this conversation going backwards and forward.
My goodness.
Roman! Stop with the focaccia! Stop with the scallops! Deal with the plague! And you just hear Roman sort of come out. DB, where are you?
I don't know, James. You've been going on like a monologue for 20 minutes. I don't know what I'm
But of course, you put things into motion.
I think I'm just doing this in the corner, like
okay, you're just watching. Fantastic. Love that. So you're still in the storage room, you're chilling over there somewhere. Love that. And
just being a menace.
Wow, they've done that. Okay. So now they've whole broken the measure tool. I hate that. So, DB, as you stand in the corner, you see Roman come out. And he begins to go over to each swan individually. He sort of shakes the cage, and as soon as it hoots, he moves onwards. Hoots, squawks, hoots, whatever noise it makes. Honks, yes, I like that. And he goes down, and all 11 swans are okay. He looks up and, something has caused this trouble. This is a dark day. Dark day indeed. Nevertheless, we must make sure the night goes perfect. It's the premiere, it is not. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We will disguise it. And he comes over to that shelf near you, DB, and you realize that you're going to need a hiding place. Quick and sharp. Where do you hide?
Well, do I need to hide? I'm dressed.
Oh, you're going to be her. You're going to risk it. And he looks over and... Christine! Perfect! Get out of your waitress's blacks! Get back into your chef's outfit! We have a disaster! There's a plague upon the place! We must disguise it. Get 5 scrolls of minor illusion and 5 scrolls of prestidigitation. We're going to take a goose and make it a swan.
Wow.
I give him a curt nod.
Excellent decision.
And walk over to where the scrolls are, because I know exactly where they are.
Yes, you do. He said it looks at you.
Oh yeah.
Very good.
We work here.
I'll trust you. I want 1 goose made as swan.
Yes, chef.
Give me a performance or deception check, your choice. As you utter your first syllables.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
As you say...
So
Ooh.
I rolled a nat 1, so something happens. Because of my Curseborn. My Curseborn bullshit.
The curse is
Don't
spreading.
you just
right
regain
there.
something? You just regain
First
the
level,
charge?
okay, I'll put it beyond 20. No, when I roll a nat 1 on an ability check, I start a chain of detriment.
Oh, good.
The next time a hostile creature makes a check, they also roll a nat 1.
Oh, yes. The next time a hostile creature lies to you.
Well, makes a check. No, makes a check. So
A check
step
of that
in-
same type. A roll of that same type.
a
Oh, I
roll
see
of
what you
that
mean.
type.
So you
Okay.
mean it will be a check, not a save, not an attack roll. I see.
So if
Okay,
they make
yeah,
a
I like
perception check to see if who I say I
Okay,
am,
lovely.
they roll a nat 1 on that.
that. Right, so this nat 1 is going to manifest in a quite specific manner, though.
Okay.
As you say, yes, chef, you hear behind him. Ah, Roman! The Bartholomew upstairs is kicking up And you look over and you see Christine, and Christine sees you. And you see Christine, and Christine sees you. And Roman is just stood in the middle. And Roman just sort of looks to you.
Good.
And Christine raises her finger, and she points at you.
I point it back at her.
Spider-Man meme.
Roman puts his hands to his head, and he looks to the left. He looks to the right. It's a plague. A plague is upon us, a disaster, a curse.
How close are the two of them together? We're close, right?
You and her are...
Are we 15 feet apart?
There's 40 feet between you and her, and 20 feet between you and Roman. I thought out these spaces very carefully.
Okay, so you're just saying there's a plague, and we're just pointing at each other. Okay.
Yeah. And he sort of looks over and he's like, Christine! Christine! What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? You! What is the meaning of this? Are you Christine?
Of course, you don't recognize me? Of course I am.
You! What's the meaning of this? Are you not Christine? What do you mean am I not Christine? That's a badly disguised actor. Look at it. Would I ever wear those kind of shoes in the kitchen?
What do you mean? What do you mean? I go walk over next to her. Look, look. You're the imposter.
That's creepy!
I've been here
You
working
stop
this whole
that
time.
right now!
This whole time I've been working. Imposters, both of you. I spray her in the face.
Good.
I spray her with perfume.
Thank you, so awesome. Thank
That's
you.
a
I'm not
9.
talking my way out of this. How
That's
am I
a
talking
9.
my way out of this?
As you spray her, she's like, stop that! What is that? Give me a second. Okay. The chef sort of, what is that? Oh, a foul smell. Oh,
Ugh.
what am I
Is
doing?
that that guy still smoking his pipe?
Oh, yeah, very chilled over there. Way away. Like he's all the way over there. He's just chilling. He says nothing. And then you see Nancy come out and, oh, Roman, what is going on? And Roman just says, there are 2 Christines. Christine turns around. No, there's not. There's just one of us. That's an imposter. Look at him. I would never wear those shoes in the kitchen. Ah, but you're not a chef today. You're a waitress. I was told. Sushi told me. Why would you wear chef shoes in the restaurant? You, get out! She points to Christine and tells her to get out. Christine's like, no, I work here. I've worked here all my life. Nancy, you and my mother, best friends. They've been best friends. And they start to argue raucously to and fro. DB, are you going to just kind of like stand around and hope it works out, or are you going to try and cause more of a ruckus, or what's the plan?
At this point,
So you make us more than 4 HP.
I mean, James, you promised I wouldn't. I promised you I wouldn't burn the place down.
Okay,
so I won't.
Start a fire. It won't burn it down.
All right.
Start a fire.
All right, I start a fire.
I yell. Free the swans! Free the swans! They're I pretend like I'm an animal rights activist.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, meat is murder, meat is murder, and I go and like.
Where this is going a lot.
I go and
Give me a performance check. As you're saying this, Cornelius and Ambrosia, you have finished your wonderful scallops, and coming to the table is a beautiful orange sorbet.
Oh, okay. So, oh dear, there's no delay with all this chaos going on in our food being.
Not yet. So if you remember, when DB first came out, Nicholas was just leaving with the orange sorbet, so I'm catching you up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Nicholas leaves with the orange sorbet. And as he comes in, and he goes to you and he says, this is a palate cleanser again. It is time to move on from the persimmon wine, if you will. It is not going to be long before you have a choice. I have 2 starters for you. The first is roasted chicken wings, and the other is a foie gras. On dark sourdough toast. Please. Chicken wings, and for yourself, mademoiselle.
Oh God. Ambrosia wants the chicken wings, but it's probably not ladylike to chow down on some chicken wings. So I guess I'll take the other option. Begrudgingly.
Perhaps I shall bring an extra plate, and you may both share both, so that you get to experience the full culinary experience of Vasucci's. Please bear with me. And as he opens the door, you just hear a plague! And the door closes.
I look around. Did anyone else in the restaurant hear that?
Quite a few people turn a plague. A plague? What do they mean, a plague? Are there rats in the kitchen? Surely there can't be rats in the kitchen. Excuse me, waitress, are there rats in the kitchen?
A plague.
The waitress stands back and says,
I'm leaning over and talking to people too.
You see the table. You see the table next to you, the Beaumonts. And you would know the Beaumonts are very well-to-do in Beldania.
Ooh.
And they have travelled over all the way to Kalan to dine at Vasucci's. You say, a plague? That can't be a plague. We would have heard about it. We always hear about everything. No, not a chance, not a plague. Somebody's making drama. I reckon there's somebody making drama. Do you think it's one of those activist people that hug trees? No, surely not. Really one of those activist people that hug trees? No, I reckon it's one of those vegetarians. It's one of those vegetarians. That's what it is. Yes, it is. It's one of those vegetarians. They're terrible people, they are. And they try and steal everyone else's meat so nobody else gets any. Horrible thing. Territorial about their meat, they are. You say, oh, well, perhaps it's just some drama. You never know. Chefs are always dramatic, and so are their staff. And this conversation is going over, and the woman just, no, there's no plague at all. Don't you worry. It's a misunderstanding. They were talking about the next course. It is a play. It is a play. The entire next course is a play. It's a play on Gazelle. Just wait. We're going to be serving... No, sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean a play of Gazelle. What am I talking about? What is a Gazelle? A Gazelle is not a creature we would serve. No, it's a play of goose. A play of goose. Not plague, but play goose. Now, please bear with us. Right this is a waitress you haven't spoken to yet. Just on the side note, her name is Benedictine. You're not going to see her for the rest of the evening. Yes, she's a halfling. She serves on the other side of the restaurant. And she sort of, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Before long, you will all see the play of goose. It is wonderful. Most magnificent.
Okay.
And after a little while, you will see her emerge with a single goose. And this goose has like fireworks coming out of its head.
Wow.
It's been plucked, it's been cooked, but it looks like it's been cooked in a fucking hurry. It is scorched, it is burnt, it is brown. There are fireworks coming out of the top of it, and you see that she is using minor illusions to make it look like a swan, to make it look like a live goose, to make it look like a dead goose, to make anything she can think of. She's got pyrotechnics going on. It's all fantastic at the spell pyrotechnics, that is. And she sort of brings it over to the Beaumonts and she places it in the middle. The play of goose! But this meal is not ready for eating. It is only ready for the showing. Now I will take it. It will be carved by our finest chefs, and we will serve you the finest of goose. And you should hear a big round of applause. Go ahead, Cornelius.
Could I try and do something whilst she's holding the
You
goose
guys
by-
can interrupt me and do things at any moment you like. Please, go ahead. Go wild.
Yeah, so whilst she's holding the goose near the table, I'd like to see if I can try
I like where this
and
is going.
subtly, without anyone realizing, do a couple of prestidigitations.
Easily.
Oh.
There's so much going on in this restaurant. You're far enough away. What are you trying to do to it?
So the first one, I'd like to make it look dirty.
Okay.
Dirty.
And
She is
then-
casting illusions on it, so it's not too evident, but they might spot a little bit of it.
So then the second thing I want to do.
What's the range on this?
is-
Prestidigitation.
Is it 15 feet?
It's 10 feet.
10 feet. You can do this as she's taking it over, not when it gets there.
Okay. And then the other thing is very vague. It says a harmless sensory effect.
Mhm.
I would kind of like to try and create like an illusion that like the flesh is like rotting.
Ew.
Very on brand for Cornelius.
I thought you were gonna try and.
I will say that briefly in between the images, so it shifts from a live goose to a swan to a dead goose to a rotting flesh, and then very quickly to the next image. And some of them sort of scratch their heads and aren't sure if that's what they saw.
Ooh. Okay.
But
Okay.
they
When he
begin
does
to
that-
look a little confused.
When he does that, I'll minor illusion a sound of someone at the table saying, "Was that the plague?"
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
What's
There
the
it is.
range?
30
you-
feet.
Okay, because you guys are 25 feet away from the table. Give me a perception, a deception or performance check, your choice, Ambrosia. You guys are going to be choosing between deception and performance a lot in this campaign.
I'll take deception, but
Yeah.
that's a 25.
Well, the 25, there's this moment, a plague! Another one, a plague? A plague? No, there's no plague. Look at it, it's a swan, it's a goose, it's a play! It's a play on geese. You keep mishearing it, your mind's doing things. The young girl says, no, I did see it. It had rotting flesh. And you just hear the voice, just, no nonsense, no rotting flesh. I'm sorry, sometimes these illusions don't work well. It's just a play. It's a play
Something
on
strange is
geese.
going on here.
And just as she begins trying to explain, I'm going to let out my little undead bird, and I want it to try and stealthily like fly as close to the ceiling as possible. And when it gets to like,
Do you control it?
I do.
Okay.
And as it gets to above the table that this is happening, it just drops like a sack of shit onto the table.
Oh my god.
Like a sack
Disgusting.
of shit. And as
Like
soon
a
as this
sack of
bird
shit.
drops, Nicholas says, "Are you done with your soul base?"
Yes, thank you.
Lovely. I think it's a- and then you just hear this piercing scream. Ah! A bird! Yes, a goose. No, a bird! A goose. It's not a goose, it's a bird! Look at it!
Dead bird. That's not
And then
a
another
goose.
woman sort of says, look at it! This is no goose! And she sort of puts it on, and she shovels her plate under, and she just sort of, and tosses it off the table, and this bird just
Oh
across the
my
restaurant
God.
onto a table nearby, where a couple are having a very romantic meal, and this bird just straight on the top of this guy's white shirt, it just hits and drops to the table.
Disgusting. Nicholas, I need
bird.
to speak to the chef right away.
Is this the plague, Nicholas?
Of course, mademoiselle, there is no plague.
Mm,
Curse?
have you seen the dead?
Perhaps a curse.
Meat is murder. You hear yelling from the kitchen at this point. Meat is murder.
I will go to the chef
Thank
immediately.
Thank
And he
you.
sort of, as he takes his tray, he sort of goes into the kitchen, and you see Nancy and Roman sort of arguing there. And what was your deception check? Performance check. Which one was it, DB?
A 6.
A 6. Look at him. She sort of looks at
They
you
know
and
for sure.
free the swans. What are you on about? What are you here for?
Mm-mm.
I run over and start opening cages with mage hands in my hands. I'm opening
And then
them
you just
freeing
say,
swans.
stop! Stop it. Please, don't let them free. They're not ready to be free. And the boy is sort of holding his broken nose. Sort of looks over at you.
Oh no.
Please. No, that's Victoria's cage. Don't let Victoria out. She's not ready to fly free.
They're gonna eat her. They're gonna eat her,
Naming
kid.
the
They
swan?
always
They're gonna eat her.
eat them. But they live a
Not
beautiful
this
and
one.
happy
Not
life first.
Victoria. Not Victoria.
Get him on your
Victoria.
side. Get him on your side.
Okay, just Victoria, just Victoria.
She's
What
gonna
is
live in a
happening? Am I
pond.
dreaming
She's
this?
gonna live on a farm.
I've been thinking about. No,
Go back
no
to sleep.
farms, no farms. They deserve a
Go back to
pond,
sleep.
a
I spray him
pond
in
of
the, I
their
spray him in
very
the
own.
face. I spray him in the face.
Turned around on him. Okay.
Nancy just looks at you. What did you do to Michael?
Don't worry about it. I start grabbing a goose and I run out the door with Victoria.
Grab a geese.
Oh my goodness.
I'll grab a swan. I grab Victoria and run out the door. And I'm
That's a
yelling,
swan,
"Meat is
okay.
murder!"
Well, as
I'm
you
yelling, "Meat is
grab, as you
murder!"
grab Victoria, she sort of pecks at you. You just hear this
Victoria
sort of
running
fluffing,
out.
and the
I spray her. I spray her. I spray Victoria.
orc raises a sword and is going to put it in front of you, to your throat.
Uh-oh.
No.
You
There.
will stop right there. I've seen your tree-hugging economist type before. And yes, he did call you an economist. That is what he called you. Not an ecologist. What are you about? Put Victoria down right now.
I won't let you eat her. She's too pretty.
Put her down! Do you release Victoria?
I slowly put her down.
And she will fly straight into the storeroom and go over and put her head on Michael's chest.
Aw, this is too sad.
And you just hear, you should
I
have
wanna
freed
get that
Nigel. Nigel hates it here. And, as you're there, the orc sort of looks at you. Good. Now surrender your weapons. Wait.
Ooh.
He looks you up and down. And Christine?
Mm.
Did I miss something? I've got to stop smoking this. He sort of puts the pipe right down. He looks at you and he sort of clears his eyes. And Christine, is that you? You
I
just hear
cast-
from behind you, Nancy. It's not Christine!
I cast pyrotechnics on his pipe and make it explode and try to blind him.
It goes over there and he just says, no! 'Tis not a
Then I
dream,
run.
'tis a nightmare!
Then I run.
And then
Then
you're
I
just going to
run.
run out, yeah? And as you run out, you just hear, stop that! Girl, not cat. Stop that! Is that Christine? She's meant to be waitressing tonight! Basucci turns around to Nancy and what is going on here? And you just, Gnob, from the back, from inside there, you hear Nicholas going, excuse me, the Chef Basucci, you must go and visit table 37. Table 37, the guest you invited, William and his friend, there's a plague in the restaurant, there's a bird dropped from the ceiling, you must go and visit them. And you hear the boys, there's a plague? There's a plague? What do you mean there's a plague? Father, what do you mean there's a plague? What do you mean there's a bird dropping? Do they mean a swan? A swan is a bird, is it not? Okay, Basucci sort of, no, keep on massaging, it must feel relaxed in your hands. And then you're just hearing Nancy go, for goodness sake, can we get a grip on this? And then you hear Roman, I don't want to do the catcher anymore. All this drama is going on.
Chaos.
The doorknob to the pantry is going to burst open into your face.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Are you right behind the door?
Well, I'm sort of like in the corner of where the door opens.
The door opens
Hoping
and
that
you make a deck save.
it would, yeah.
Don't get your nose broken, too.
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
15.
Nice.
15.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, you take a big step back and the door sort of bursts open and slams closed behind you and you say, I hate this job. Oh,
Wow.
what do they mean there's a plague? And you see a halfling sort of walk over into the corner and she sort of stares at the wall and she's sort of like, she starts opening the boxes. Where did I put it? And then she reaches into a box of the grain and she digs down deep and she pulls out a bottle of whiskey and she uncorks it.
This is so real to working in food service.
Could anything more go wrong? Chef Suchi's gonna be so mad. This one is meant to be his son's premiere. God, she turns around and sits in the box and she just stares straight at you.
Oh.
Sorry, I was dealing with a baby.
Okay, Benedictine, big glug 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 of the whiskey, and she turns
Yeah,
around and she's
yeah.
in the Vasucci's gonna be so angry since in the premiere, and she turns around, she sits in the box, and just stares straight at you, Gnob. Like you guys just meet eye to eye as the door swings closed between the gap. And there you are, the two of you. What do you do?
So can we see each other? Is that
Oh yeah. You meet eyes, like she's holding a light in one hand, a bottle of whiskey in the other. She just sort of looks at you.
I'm gonna lunge at her and reach with my super long arm and sort of grab her
Ooh, I
face
love
before
that.
she can say anything.
She thinks for a moment, and you hear in your mind, let me go, fool.
Oh, wow.
Can I answer back?
Oh yeah, well, I don't know. Somebody quickly find out about Ghostwise Halflings. Can you answer back? I don't think so. Could anybody have a message to?
I mean, she's 2 inches away from you. You could just.
Well,
talk.
Could
Oh,
we
yeah, you
message?
reply
Could we
to
message back to
Hugo,
Matt?
yeah.
I genuinely don't recall.
You could with Hugo.
Could you?
I mean,
Yeah.
message generally works.
It's not message. She's a Ghostwise
I know,
Halfling.
I know.
No,
He-
it seems like it's
but-
one way. It seems like it's one way.
But Gnob
Yeah,
would
I thought it
assume-
was.
Gnob would assume that she's casting message, so he would try to answer in his mind.
Yeah, but you sort of
She
mouth
said-
back and you just hear,
There's just a moment. of
"Answer me
silence.
aloud, idiot! What do you want? And let me go."
I can't let you go just yet.
Why ever not? Who are you anyway?
None of your fucking business. Who are you?
At her
She,
job.
she literally just she just does this with a bottle in her hand. She's just like, "I work here. You don't. My business is this business. What is your business?" She sounds exasperated even in your mind.
My business right now is to decide whether I'm going to crush your head.
Well, don't do that. There's just no need for such lack of civility.
My thoughts exactly. Now,
What are you doing here?
I'm here to take something,
Oh,
and you're going to help me.
okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, sure. I know where the cash is kept overnight.
Shit, get that too.
You hear a voice from far, far away. It sounds a little like Ambrosia.
Noble grunt. Not that.
You do whatever the fuck you like. Can you let go of my mouth so I can get the whiskey to it?
She doesn't care. She's about to quit.
I'll lower it.
She drinks the.
I won't let go. Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. She messages into your head.
She's gonna knock herself out. You don't have to do
Yeah,
anything.
I'm here for the recipe.
Okay, well, I need to give table 16 their starters. That's what she sends back to you. That's all she's got.
I don't trust it.
Look, mister, I don't want to lose my job. You do whatever the fuck you like, I won't say a thing. But let me out of here. I need to serve their starters.
Who's at table 16?
6 elves.
Oh, fuck. Not them.
You don't like elves? She says into your mind. And then she goes, move your hand again, I need more whiskey. Just sort of
I'm obliged.
puts it back. I'm done. Carry on.
Wow.
Can you carry your drunk ass in there and cause
I'm
a
not
ruckus?
drunk yet. There's always a ruckus. There's a plague in the environment today. A dead bird dropped from the rafters. There is no more ruckus to be caused. I tell you what, how about this? You let me go, I'll give table 16 their starters, and I'll fuck with the musicians.
Ooh.
Just get the fucking chefs out the kitchen.
Chef's out the kitchen? Oh, easy. Let go.
It's easy.
Okay. She sort of goes to let herself back into the kitchen. She's taking the whiskey with her.
Okay.
I'll grab
Where
it.
this is going.
Okay. You go to grab the whiskey?
Yeah, to like.
Hey, I need that. That's the plan. Give it back.
Yeah, fire.
Fine.
She
You
goes into the
cross me,
kitchen.
You're dead.
Yeah, whatever. She walks into the kitchen. She tosses the whiskey directly into the fire.
Oh my
Big flame.
God.
As DB's running out, you just see DB as you look back. What the indoor blasts outwards. The flames go out, and you see 2 Aasimar children sort of running out. That one of them is cuddling a piece of parchment on a piece of wood.
You bastard.
Nob, as you see her sort of swing back, you crack open the kitchen door. There is no one in the kitchen except one male. He sort of has this. He's almost completely shaven. He has this tiny little string of hair just across his head with an arrow at the front. And you see, he's got sort of dark skin, sort of either very well tanned or from a little further away. And he's got this very strange Z-shaped mustache that's sort of in zigzags. And he's sort of wrapping his hands into the fire, trying to calm it down.
Well, I'm just gonna.
Work here?
I think so.
What did you ask, Mikayla?
So
Oh, does he work here? Do we see this guy?
Yes,
before?
definitely works here. He's wearing chef
Okay.
whites.
I am going to just run out
Mhm.
and I'll have a quick look to see, and if I would I have been able to see the sun take?
You
The
do.
recipe
As you
or
come
to the
out, you
back
just see
of
the
him?
boy leave with this sort of like, it's about a 2-foot board, it's wooden, and it has like sort of a very large, elaborate
Okay.
scroll, and
I'll
it's
have a quick
covered in a
look.
piece of glass.
I'll have
Oh,
just a really quick
wow.
look around to see if there's
Um,
anything.
There is a
posted on
beautifully
walls.
massaged saffron swan on one side. Other than that, the kitchen is in complete disarray, and this man is just, calm, my flames, my beauties, come down. Back to your normal sense. I'm so sorry that somebody threw alcohol at you. It is okay. You relax back into the beautiful fire. You fire the flames, you flame the fire. The stew is going to be ruined. Who are you?
I'm just gonna run,
Straight
and
through.
I will push. I will sort of check him into the flames.
He wraps himself in the flames and my beauties. He doesn't
He
seem
loves
affected
it.
at all.
He's eating it up.
Yeah, I figured he'd just
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Okay.
But yeah, sort of shoulder check him aside and
Yeah,
run.
and then
after him.
standing in the outdoor, you see these two Aasimar boys, one of whom is clutching this big wooden board to his chest. You see no sign of Asuchi. You see a few people chasing out of the yard, and you see one chef come in the other door, sort of into the stores and go, what is going on? Is there a plague?
Yeah, and I'm the only one in here.
In the kitchen, yeah.
Yeah, I'll look to him and say, yes.
Oh, no, sorry.
Get out.
Sorry, just to make this clear. No, you are the only one in the kitchen. Let's move you. So you're like here. And then they are all congregating in this area here. And there's like
Oh.
12 people in that area. Standing with his back to you are the two sons, like in that door.
Oh,
Yank him back in the kitchen.
I'm gonna yank him.
Okay, you reach out
Pathetic.
and you say, oh! Goodness me. And the boy sort of turns to you and, oh, you don't belong here.
Can I sort of just bonk him?
Knock
He's
him
quite
out.
attractive.
Yeah, no, now's not the time.
We don't
It
need
is
that
saying,
one.
Knob.
don't
Track
use that
period
one.
is going to take a long time. All right, we don't have time for that, Knob.
You just want to hit him over the head?
Yeah, can I just sort of club him over the head?
You can. What are you doing? Like, just a punch?
I was just an unarmed strike. I don't want to
Give
like
me an
fucking
unarmed
kill
strike.
this kid. I don't want to kill this guy.
Well, you can do. I mean, yeah, I guess you double him up, potentially kill him.
Maybe he's. I don't know if these guys are commoners. Some of
Oh
them are.
God!
strong.
Will a 13 hit this kid?
As your fist comes towards his head, a magical barrier will prevent your hand from hitting
Oh
as
my
he
God.
casts shield. Looks at you
knew
and,
it.
Jeez.
for goodness sake,
Strong.
man, get a hold of yourself. What are you doing here?
Everyone here is very nonplussed.
I'm here to protect you.
Wow, what a turn! What a twist!
He looks at you and goes, shit, I didn't see that one coming. Protect me from
Your
what?
father hired a security detail. He knew that something was amiss on the night that he would teach you his recipe. Come with me.
I think you mean my brother.
Wait,
think
aren't
my
I
brother.
trying to grab the one who's holding the thing?
Yeah, he's Lorellus.
Uh-huh.
And he will say to you, I think you're looking for my brother. My father would only detail a security detail for him, not for me.
Wow, he does love one more.
The
I
black
knew it.
sheep.
For sure, he's holding the recipe.
Oh, he is.
though.
It's covered in like a glass cover, and I remind you, glass is really expensive as well.
And his name is Lorellus.
Mm-hmm.
No, orders were clear. Lorellus, the secret favorite son.
Ooh, the drama.
Give me a deception check.
I like this a
Jesus.
lot.
I almost did a spit take, Rico. It was very close.
Sowing discord. Just roll. Wow, he rolled really good.
Hold on.
Nice.
And before we take that 18, I'm going to use this tactical mind ability, which
What?
allows me to expend a second wind charge to roll a d10 and add it to an ability check.
What is that? Is that
Just
new
in
fighter
case.
stuff?
It's new for fighter stuff, yeah.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Well,
Oh, wow.
not
that's
much, but it'll
awesome.
be a 21.
That's amazing for a
Nice.
minus
He looks
one.
at you and, secret favorite my ass. But you're here to protect us. Protect me or protect the recipe?
I'll sort of give him the look like,
Well, we must protect them both, surely.
You're holding it.
And the other? There are 2 copies. After all, you would know that, wouldn't you? Protection detail. How are we going to get upstairs past the rabble? Can you teleport?
Upstairs. No, we'll just run.
I think not. Are you ready?
Nope. What's his?
He's gonna teleport you with them.
Nice.
4? Yeah, I have no idea what he's talking about.
Okay. He opens a scroll, which he has like sort of. It's not really a scroll. It's sort of like he's wearing a gold sort of thick wristband, and he begins to read the magical words off of it. And as he's reading, you will see the wristband disappearing. You will know this is a one-time use scroll of something. And as he reads it off, you see the whole wristband disappear. And as he finishes his cast, you will be on the 3rd floor. In the bedroom.
Like that.
Just
Now you
like
can kill
that.
him.
Why
Looks
would
at
I
you.
kill him?
Look. I don't believe you. You lie
Oh,
well.
really?
Very well. But you were in the right place at the right time. Have you been speaking to Rich?
Oh my god, this goes all the way to the top.
We were promised Thieves Guild protection. Rich's window was meant to be for me, not for anybody else, not for any outsider.
You're the client.
Well, well, well.
Keynotes. I would have been able to slip out with this if you hadn't have grabbed me back into the kitchen like some sort of buffoon. I'm assuming that you have friends in the area that have caused this ruckus. Is there truly a plague?
I've got no idea, to be honest.
Great. Well, you're certainly not the brains. He sort of squeezes your muscle. Must we continue to cuddle like this?
Dang.
And what do you propose? We walk out the front door.
Well, you thought there were 2 recipes, but it's one of the most sought after items in the planet, in the country. It's not going to be 2 copies, were there? Ever, really. No, we could just leave via the window. There's a balcony just there. We're right next to the roof. I'm assuming you can climb. You look like a thief. Can you get me out of here too?
Fantastic.
Wow. It's racist.
So let me get this straight. We'll be turning in the recipe, or you will?
I don't want the
Done.
recipe. I wanted it stolen.
Well, hand it over then.
He gives it to you.
Wow. This is going great.
Can I just like sort of take it out of the stupid thing that it's in and roll it up and pocket?
You
it?
could try, but like you'd have to take the glass off the wood. It's like fixed, and it's a good way of keeping it very, very pristine.
Fair. All right,
Yeah.
I'll throw it in the old knapsack if I can be carrying one.
Okay. He looks at you and just get it away from here.
You got it.
It will be sold far away, right? That was the promise that I was made.
Sure.
Confident.
Very well. Leave. Oh. I suppose you better punch me.
My thoughts exactly.
See? Shouldn't have done that shield earlier.
Oh, fucking
It
love
stiffens
Gnob.
up.
Give him a smack.
Oh, should I? No, I won't. I was gonna like crack him with like the back of my like sword or something, but that might split his face open. So instead, I will just crack him in the mouth.
Nice.
Okay. You do so, and he sort of falls down to the ground. His acting is a bit theatrical. Yeah, you don't think he's actually unconscious.
I love that.
and I will head straight for the. Well, can I? Well, I won't waste time looking around. Let me get the fucking out. Let's get out of here. Let's find this window.
Okay.
You guys can do whatever you want down there.
I'm gonna finish my dinner.
Don't get
Yeah,
it.
absolutely, we are.
Cornelius and Ambrosia, you will be after a while. Nicholas will come out, and I'm so sorry, Vasucci is coming. In the meantime, can I offer you a complimentary drink? There's a little bit of a drama going on.
Nicholas, it's been very distressing out here.
I'm sure it has, young man. It's been distressing for us too.
Commotion?
I'm sorry to hear that.
We believe that an animal rights activist acting on behalf of swans came forward and made a fake plague.
How gauche.
A fake, if you will.
I hope you killed him.
Oh, goodness me, no. I believe he ran away. Our delivery driver was chasing him, but our delivery driver has been having a bit of a bad day because he smoked too much. He believed he ran over a woman. He was quite traumatized by it all.
Sounds like...
I'm sorry, I'm oversharing, aren't I?
No. You're fine. I understand.
You're very easy to talk to. I apologize. He goes back in and sort of... he goes... You see the door sort of open, then he looks in and just comes back to the table, closes the door behind him, and comes over and... There may be a delay. As he's opened the door, seen the kitchen on fire, close it again.
Yeah.
How
can we
about that
smell this
thing?
fire right here next to
Yeah, you just smell a whiff of smoke. And then you just see the Beaumont's next to you, sort of... Do you think there really was a plague, or was that just one bird? It's unusual, isn't it? Oh, goodness. Do you smell that? It's burning. Well, I suppose it would be burning. They're dealing with the plague. They've forgotten to take the fish off.
the bodies?
They sort of panicking, and then, what do you mean they're burning the bodies? No, nobody's burning bodies. somebody's burning my dinner.
How you deal with the
That's
plague.
far worse, fool. And then you just hear this sort of playing go a little bit jaunty, as one of the violinists appears to suddenly start going off on his own little tune. And it's like two people are playing simultaneously, if you're...
The bar does go rogue.
Well, no, you were told by... Well, Gnob was told by the wonderful Benedictine that she would mess with the musicians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like a fucking fly was driving me
As we're
mad.
sat here,
Plague. It's a plague.
waiting for our starters, I suppose. I will look.
No, you're waiting for your main.
We've
good,
not
the
had chicken
swan
wings
is
and frog wow.
Oh, no, you're waiting for your chicken wings and foie gras. Yes, your second starter. Your early course.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll look towards Ambrosia, and I'll just say, what do you intend to gain out of staying with this group?
Hopefully, at least, you can see me back to one of my, stashes, rebuild what I've lost in this little detour in prison, and then we'll see where it goes from there. I have big ambitions, obviously, but well, what about you?
What are those ambitions?
Ambrosia smiles very tight. How... You haven't seen me perform, dear. I'm going to be the greatest actor Kalan has ever known.
You wish to be famous.
Naturally. Who doesn't? The life of fame and glamour, that's what it's all about.
I don't reply. I just take a sip of my drink.
And what about you, Cornelius? What is the end game of your little hobbies? And I'll nod my head to the dead bird.
Make an insight check.
Oh wow, taking the reins. Okay, insight pretty good. 21.
Yeah, so as you ask him what his end game is with his little hobbies, you see in his eyes, you see that he's imagining that future.
Mm.
And you see like a flash of like excitement and like a thrill and kind of this. Oh, it's kind of, you see his like pupils dilate as he thinks of this, of whatever he's thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of like snaps out of it and he looks at you with like a slight smirk. I aim to take back what's mine.
Good. It's always good to have ambition. Someone with no goals is lost. I will do a little toast to Cornelius
I will toast to that too.
as we see this commotion going on.
And then I'll just say, now where are those fucking chicken wings and stuff?
I'm dying for
And after a short moment, the chicken wings will come out in the foie gras. And they look a little rushed, but the preparation isn't on point, but the food tastes wonderful. And after you're about halfway through, the sushi will come out. Sort of. Oh,
Suchi, darling, what is going on?
truly, I do not know. Somebody has come here and put a curse upon us this evening.
I heard a plague.
There is no plague.
Oh, thank goodness.
The only plague upon us is whoever decided to try and make it up.
Mm.
Goodness me, what is going on with that bard? You there! You there!
It's playing wildly in the
Masson! Make it stop! Masson goes over and sort of seizes the viola out of her hand, and just sort of pulls it off her and shh! You're fired!
Damn.
Ta gueule, monsieur! For goodness sake, you are spoiling the ambience!
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And you just say, what ambience? There's a plague! There is no plague, idiot! There is one person just trying to bring this establishment down to its knees, but they will not. They will not stand. Vasucci will serve you all dinner for free. Vasucci sort of looks over at you and,
What a bold
is that so?
statement.
Well, he was serving us for free anyway, so.
No, it was one gold piece ahead. He looks at
Okay,
you
you're
and,
right. You're right.
He looks
you're
at you
right.
and, it would seem the dinner is on the house. My closest of friends and kindest of comrades has just stabbed me in the back. I'm not quite sure how I
does
feel about it.
Vasucci- Does he seem like stressed, upset,
Give me an
Or
insight
is he-
check.
taking this all in stride?
How does he know?
As a
Who is this Bartholomew at? Who is this guy?
No, Bartholomew's upstairs. Masson is who said they're serving all for free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the maitre d' has literally said that all the meals on the house, and you just see Vasucci just slowly sort of. There's just a twitch at his temple. What's your insight check?
I wonder if he's losing his mind. Only 11.
He seems like he might be angry, but he's holding it together beautifully.
I respect.
He looks at you and your next course is the leaf, one of my personal favorites. I designed it myself. After which I shall bring your swan out myself. I am sorry for the disruptions this evening, but honestly, we will have you served the bestest of meals.
We appreciate your
so much.
hospitality.
And after a little while, a waitress will come up and serve you a single leaf, upon which sits a beautiful, what looks like a large dewdrop in the middle.
Mm.
And she will explain, you just partake of the liquid. It's just the dewdrop. Just take the leaf and it is...
I do it with my weird long tongue.
Yeah, it is like a journey. So at first, it starts off like this warm fizzing feeling in your mouth. And you almost feel a little sick. Because it's like warm lemonade. But then immediately that flavor's suddenly gone. And you've got this tart, acidic, like a citrus. Like if you've ever had a really good lemon tart. It's like this flavor of a lemon tart. And then suddenly there's like a washed feeling. And so your mouth just feels completely clean. And do you know that sort of cold breath feeling you get after a mint?
Yeah.
You've got that beautiful
Imagine
feeling
it.
going. You'll say, I believe you're ready for your swan. Mr. Vasucci has insisted that he both makes it and serves it himself after the debacle of his sons this evening. I'm sorry that you will not witness the premiere, but trust me, you will witness the practiced product. My name's Benedictine, by the way. I'm really sorry, but Nicholas has gone home.
Oh. Well, that's fine.
Isn't it just?
Can I smell the whiskey on her?
No. Not at
Okay,
all.
good. She covers it well. That's
Wow.
good. I don't know this then.
Yes.
Okay, well then I eagerly await the swan that's been hyped up this whole time.
Wonderful. After about 20 minutes, Chef Vasucci will come out with 2 plates. A single piece of swan served with a large feathered wing, or piece of wing, sort of a fan of white
beautiful.
feathers, if you will. Next to it, beautiful roast potatoes surround it with a saffron crown with a slight, tiny red sauce sort of around the top of the meat, and then one single white feather out of the top. And look to you,
Yum.
Monsieur and
Me
Mademoiselle.
too.
It is my pleasure to present you with Vasuchi's saffron swan. And despite the drama,
About
I assure
yourself.
you, this is exactly as perfect as the dish has always been. Please, try it.
Oh, okay.
Does he stand there and wait for us
Mhm.
to try?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I was expectantly. Okay.
I will tell
I'll-
you that
Try some.
as you sort of dig in, take a single bite, there's a very sort of pleasant buttery texture at first. And then you begin to taste that saffron coming through and that gamey meat afterwards. Every bite is sensation. Partaking in Vasuchi's saffron swan will give you a +5 to all stats for the next hour.
Wow.
For the next
He's
hour.
awesome.
But I wouldn't bother doing
Damn.
anything because we are going to pick up long after that hour is done.
Can I get this in a doggy bag?
No.
Ah.
Wait. Before we leave, I want to.
Well, you've got 3 more courses to come, but
Oh, okay.
that's fine. After the swan, which is fabulous, Vasuchi, after you take a bite of the swan, which is fabulous, Vasuchi sort of looks at you and... Is everything to your liking?
Incredible position. Truly.
He looks to you, Ambrosia, and... Madame, I must ask, would you share your wine with me?
Oh. I do that.
He takes his glass, he takes your glass, and he looks to William. I would like to propose a toast.
Oh.
Trust me that when Violetta was out here, there was no troubles.
Hmm.
In your life, I'm sure, if our Bella was here, there would be no troubles. But I see between
And my
you,
poor departed Philip.
I see... I'm so sorry, Philip. A tragic
Just
loss.
shoehorn it right in.
Yeah, a tragic loss.
Yeah, let's
is
make
Philip.
this about me too.
He looks at the two of you and he says, but I sense between you a budding relationship, a growth. Perhaps not one of love, but one of practicality and a future fortune. The future fortunes. He raises his glass.
Ding.
There are many courses to come, but we will instead turn to Gnob. Nope.
Making
No.
the getaway.
As you leap down from the balcony with your glass-covered recipe in hand. As soon as you land, a man grabs your sleeve
Oh no.
and looks at you. Ah,
Oh no.
you must be Gnob. Such a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Sorry we haven't met before. I'm sure we'll meet again in future. I believe that you have acquired something for me that I will be selling for you.
The fuck are you?
I'm your paycheck.
Oh.
And with that, he procures a large pouch of gold.
Ooh.
He holds it out. This is your pay. If you will, please.
We were promised to speak to your boss.
I am the boss.
Oh, this is.
What does this
Rich's boss.
guy look like?
Oh my god.
What am I looking at right now?
I wish I was there.
He looks to you. And you may call me Gilvash. I'm a purveyor of great goods. I believe this is mine. And that, jangles the coin, is yours. Congratulations on your escape from jail. Give Ambrosia my deepest regards.
Mm.
I'll make the switch.
As he hands you a bag of jangling gold, he says, "Ah, Gnob, is it? A special something just for you."
Ooh.
And he will hand you a tiny little velvet pouch. And Rico, I will ask you please to deal your card to the table.
Ooh, treasure.
Ooh, a treasures.
And then it's like a sword that was in a tiny pouch.
He will hand you... I didn't mean to roll. He will hand you a wizard spell scroll.
Ooh.
But this wizard spell scroll is for something very specific. This is a one-time casting of Mage Hand, this scroll. But it will have a range of 300 feet.
Wow. That's badass.
Okay.
Good luck on your next venture. And good night. And with that, he will walk away. And we will come to the timeless tradition of MEPs. And I'm sorry if anybody feels a little left out. I know that with a split party, especially when one runs off mid-heist, you might end up sitting there waiting.
No, I mean that happened how it had to happen. So.
Yeah.
Mikayla, you may talk about the mysterious man after session, but not to the public, if you will, please. But in the meantime,
No, I'm not going to.
I would like to hand each of you 250 experience points for a successful heist.
Ooh, 250.
And just to let you know, that pouch contains 330 gold pieces.
Wow.
We're so close to level 3.
Hey,
Oh,
hey.
Boo.
330
Killed
gold.
somebody.
How close is so close? Like 5 or like...
No, we are 105.
Oh, well, that's miles away. Okay, cool. We're coming to the time of tradition of MEPs. Protection, Dido. Honestly, Rico, I have never been thrown so hard a curveball as I am here to protect you. My brain just went, you have no idea that he has hired this man to steal the recipe. And you said you're here to protect him, and then my brain was just like, there are so many cogs, and you don't know half of them, and you just like, it was such a curveball. It was beautiful.
Well, after the punch in the face was the best part. Punch him in the face first, and then I'm here to
That's
protect
the
you.
funniest part.
That was the best part.
Yeah. So he shielded as well, which was the best part.
I was trying to gently caress your face.
Rico, your MVP.
Amongst the chaos, one of the funniest things to happen was literally just like the Spider-Man meme moment between.
I didn't mean to create that, but Christine was coming back out. You knew she was coming back out. You just seen the kerfuffle on the staircase.
I knew that was going to happen, but I rolled. It was too funny. I had to go.
And then DB Christine just running around screaming. What was it?
Meat is murder.
Swan is murder. Meat is
Meat
murder.
is murder.
Swan
Yeah.
meat is murder.
Very
Pat, your
very
MVP.
I wrote this down. Ply it in your hands like the breasts of your first maiden. You guys ate that. So good luck. You ate a swan. That was one of the instructions.
Apparently.
It was.
I don't know where you came up with that, James.
At
Vicious-
one point
vicious
during the week, I
sweat
tried to
body
come
odor.
up with the
Yeah, that
140
was
line recipe, and then I thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna go with it. But sushi is so. I just gave the whole lot total wing it. Mikayla, your MVP.
Gosh. Yeah, the I'm here to protect you was so funny. I really like the string of events that were set off by DB poisoning that peanut and how that just led to the swan getting sick and dying and then having to pivot to where anti-meat activists. Yeah, it was awesome.
I ran
It
out
was
of ideas.
messy.
I really loved it.
There shouldn't have been too many ways to fail because little did you guys know that the sun was the insider all along. So it was designed as a first heist that really the only way you could screw up is by getting noticed the guards coming, right? As long as you put things into motion. And my god, did you put enough wheels into motion? There were like 8 wheels. I am so looking forward to our next heist and just seeing all the different little plots and plans and things you guys do, because I'm sure there was still way more to come from Cornelius Ambrosia, who effectively did very little, but the one thing you did do was a huge drama. And it was you who did it, Mr. Cornelius. Josh, your MVP.
Yeah, you guys have said it all really. The whole session was so fucking funny. But I think I'm oh man, I think I've just got to give it to Mikayla shoehorning Philip Stan.
Yeah, that was the last one.
Yeah, that was a good.
It's so funny.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
To Arbella, Violetta, and Philip.
Don't forget
yes.
me.
Yes. I do think that you guys deserve a lot of credit for staying in character. Like,
Mhm.
a lot of the time, like, I say that in D&D, and it's a casual thing, right? When you play your character and you role-play in combat, or, like somebody shouts at you something quite funny and you manage to make. Here, it was like you had to perform your role, but also be your character, and sometimes those things did not result necessarily in immediate success. But to drop a dead bird from the ceiling, to shoehorn the chef into having to come out, to, sort of seizing a guy in the broad face of daylight, and to creating absolute havoc and getting away. Like, you all did it whilst being in your characters, and that is something I'm so looking forward to. Heist in, heist out. I know this is going to be so much split up party, but the graciousness with which you congratulate each other as well is something to really partake in. I'm so looking forward to
You
this
handled
game.
it correctly too, James. You were switching back and forth, like you were managing the whole thing.
Sure, the timeline is the hard thing for me.
Well, I'm giving you props too. You give.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, but the timeline was like, just I love the idea of what menaces we're gonna see in future.
The exact tone that I want. This is
but for today, that is where we're gonna end. If you guys would like to say goodbye,
Goodbye.
Bye.
Free the swans.
we shall see you
It
soon.
didn't matter.